passion who are interested in a stable and rewarding career. Visit dac.nc.gov/cojobs. dac.nc.gov/cojobs.
The Fender family on their mother's experience at Sandstone Health and Rehabilitation.
She enjoyed it so much with all the people, all the activities.
Oh, she got along with the staff great, and they took good care of her, too.
It made me go home and sleep at night. I didn't have to worry about her because I knew she was being taken care of.
And she loved going out in the courtyard. We always had picnics with her.
Mama was so happy.
Discover the Sandstone difference at sanstonehealth.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
From the Ingalls studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good. Live from the Ingalls studio,
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
the Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God, the Jets killed him.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. We are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to the sportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, and join us in the chat. I should probably pull it up so I can see the chat throughout the program today.
Does help.
It does feel like a Monday here on a Tuesday. Hope everyone had a as restful as possible Memorial Day weekend. Jeremy looks like he got fried a little bit.
Yep, me and the son, we don't get along, and it did damage. If you can look at my wrist, you'll see where my hair tie was, and that's the color I started. And it is not the color that I currently am.
Mm-hmm. You would think at some point you'd learn about, I don't know, sunscreen.
I don't like it. It gets in my eyes and it burns. I don't like it. I'd rather just get burnt. It's fine.
It's brutal. I hate being sunburnt more than anything.
It's fine. Look, Mary Kay makes this, and you can judge me. You can make fun of me. I don't care. Mary Kay makes this lovely after sun stuff. It's great. Makes you feel good in about 24 hours. And then you go back to sun fun times. And that's what I did. And I'm fine.
All right. Good deal. I got a lot of golfing in for the Memorial Day weekend. Good for you.
I did. I only hit a house that I know of. I did disturb breakfast for a family of squirrels that they were not pleased. I must have gone right across the dinner table.
What are you doing? This is another squirrel incursion by you on the golf course. You already killed one.
I did.
Goodness.
Yeah, look, I don't mean to, but squirrels hang out in the woods, and for some reason my golf ball likes to too.
Sir Jimothy with first points of the day says, Jeremy, we make fun of you a lot. Just none of it has to do with Mary Kay.
It's fine. I have thick skin. It's very burnt skin right now, but it's thick, and I can handle it.
Indeed. Well, welcome into the program. Hope everyone got a little bit of rest over the Memorial Day weekend. I know I did. We had the we just kind of hung out this weekend. I got some things done around the house. I didn't step on any more hampers.
That's good. So you're still well. your laundry prohibition is still in tow?
Yes, I still am not going downstairs to do the laundry.
That's a boy.
I just won't do it. You got to bring me the clothes and I'll fold them up here.
We have 100 days to NFL football. It is 100 days from today.
Nice.
And that is exciting for me. That also means that it's the official start of summer, because that means I got 100 days of grab keister time, and I plan on making the most use of it.
It's gonna be just trying to recharge the batteries before the season all kicks up again. We got OTAs started today around the league. I know the Panthers were back on the field today. I don't know if everybody was back on the field today. Certain teams, at least. back on the field today for organized team activities. What's important about this time of year?
Do you want me to lie, or do you want me to tell you the truth?
I want you to tell me why they do this. Why is this a thing?
Oh, why do they
do
do it on the field? Oh, you get a lot of things from this. You get a lot of team cohesion. You get a lot of this is where relationships start to be formed because you got a lot of guys that weren't on the team. That's from the team aspect. That's not what you asked me originally. What you asked me originally is why should we care? And the answer is we shouldn't.
We shouldn't.
We shouldn't. Anything you hear in the next 2 months, probably 90% of it's lies. Oh, player X really tore it up at OTAs. Awesome. He may or may not make the roster. Sweet. I just don't care all that much. You will get the stray one, and usually the way you can disseminate it is when we start getting into full team. Mm-hmm. Everybody's there. Puka Nacua, that one really rings true for me because the Rams started telling us about him in the first OTA.
Right.
Nobody can defend this kid. He's so good. I didn't put much stock into it until about the preseason. Then you see him on the field and go, okay, yeah, he's going to be good. He's going to be real, real good. What you do in shorts doesn't mean a whole mess to me.
A lot. You're right.
So like
it matters in the process of things, but is it going to tell you who's going to have a good season?
No. I mean, Gambit fans said the Bengals are talking about Jermaine Burton's not doing stupid things anymore. I'm going to beg to differ. I just, I believe that you could be wrong.
Is there inside information there? Have you heard of shenanigans involving Jermaine Burton lately?
Well, I mean, Jermaine Burton's one of those guys that I look at and go, you've managed to not do anything really stupid for a week. That doesn't mean much to me. It's kind of like Tank and allowing his camera to freeze. I just assume you're gonna.
That's making me check to make sure.
It's frozen right now.
Is it?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be. God, I hate the internet in this building.
Why do you think I'm not there?
Yeah, I get you. Wish I wasn't. Anyhow,
hey, we're working towards those things. We're figuring it out.
we're figuring it. Okay, good. Glad we're figuring it out. Well, welcome into the program. Today is a
Power Rankings Tuesday.
There we go. Power Rankings Tuesday. Today is pass catchers for the 2025 NFL season. It's got 32. Jeremy has 32 pass catchers that are ranked. 29 of them wide receivers, 3 of them tight ends. And we'll talk about the honorable mentions and all of those things. But this is based on the talent level and how much projection.
I mean, there are certain guys that didn't make the list that really don't even belong in the honorable mention. It doesn't mean they're not good. I'll give you a good example. Stephon Diggs. I didn't think about him for this list for even 5 seconds. His name never crossed my mind. Mm-hmm. Cortland Sutton. His name really never crossed my mind. It doesn't mean he's not good. It means that you mix the lack of upside, which I don't think either one of those guys has top 20 in the NFL upside. Mm-hmm. They have very safe floors, but I'm not really playing floor into this. Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably higher on this list than you would think he's going to be based off last year, and I'll tell you why when we get there. I've done some deep dive on Marvin Harrison Jr., and I'll go ahead and tell you, if you're selling, I'm buying. There are a few other players didn't have great years last year. Tyreek Hill was not as good as you wanted him to be. He took a massive step back. I don't think that's going to change. Part of that's his situation. Mm-hmm. Part of that is his age. Part of that is that receivers that win off exclusively speed, which he has his entire career, tend to age like milk. Mm-hmm. It's just the way it goes.
And the ranking plays off of the PFF ranking. Apparently, PFF did their wide receiver ranking.
PFF did a lot of rankings, and I want to get this out of the way. I love Trevor Sikkema. He's one of my closest friends in the business. We disagree on a lot of stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like just a lot. But it's the way it goes. Two people that watch this much tape, it doesn't mean you're going to see the same thing. It's the beauty of what we do here. You know, he just did his quarterback rankings. And I'm going to say something, and, you know, when I say it, you're going to go, that doesn't make any sense. He had J.J. McCarthy ahead of Sam Darnold. Yep, that's the thing you did. Sam Darnold, who was a borderline MVP last year, J.J. McCarthy, who played tiddlywinks on a sideline. You had him, you had one ahead of the other. Okay, that's the thing you did.
But was that like a projection for like, you know, I don't know, outcome this year, basing it on the weapons and the offensive line and all of that? Did he do the tank thing here, or was this supposed to be a based on talent list?
He went according to the way, and now this was not Trevor. This was John Costco who works for Trevor.
Okay.
His list was starters based on the 2025 season. Now Trevor did the receivers list. Trevor did the top 25 under 25. He's done a lot of them over the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor had A.J. Brown at 1. And I never thought I would say somebody on this planet loved A.J. Brown more than I did outside of his family. But I found one.
Yeah.
Because to have A.J. Brown
high.
1 is a bold strategy. And I don't agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
I also always feel the urge when I do these things, I have to give you what what the evaluation was, what my merits are, what got you here. And part of it is going to be, you know, from a fantasy standpoint, there's a player that plays for a team of a fella that just super chatted, plays for his team, that I don't love him as a number one receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to put up some tremendous stats. And so that bumps him up a little bit. Do I think he's necessarily the 20th best receiver? And I made that number up. Mm-hmm. No, I'd probably have him closer to 30. But I think he's going to produce at about 12. And so I kind of split the difference. You know, if the Cincinnati Bengals offered me for Jamar Chase for him, you wouldn't have the chance to unwind that because he'd already be on a plane.
Right.
But he's going to produce.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I've always found funny with fans on the whole, they mistake talent and production a lot.
Okay.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I always love to tie it back to him because I know Amon-Ra. I'm so versed with his story and all of the things. Amon-Ra St. Brown would not have worked to the level that he did in every situation. He went to Detroit, which was a perfect situation because they wanted exactly that kind of receiver.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they just jumped up and down about him. They have another one of those this year. His name's Isaac Tesla. You should get really familiar with that name. Just you can listen to me or you can not. It's totally up to you. Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua would not work in certain systems. He is a perfect fit for Sean McVay.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that Puka's a top 10 or a top 5 talent. I think he is a top 10. It doesn't mean he's a top 5 talent. Doesn't mean he's better than CeeDee Lamb. It doesn't mean he's better than Justin Jefferson. It means he's in a great situation. You have to play that into power rankings. It doesn't matter how good you are if you never get any opportunities. It doesn't matter how good you are if I think your quarterback is dog water. And so all of those things kind of play into themselves. And with my rankings, that's what you get.
Yep.
We also have a handful of super chats to get to.
We do. And you can obviously follow us on the or subscribe to the channel to get into the chat. Just go to youtube.com/thesportsocracy.
Curtis Davis is last because I have a really, really funny story as to what he just said.
Okay. Sir Jimothy says, had a great turnout on Saturday. Thanks for the support. That was the latest car show for a cause with Wheels for Meals, Western North Carolina.
Yep, Jimothy,
happy to help.
Absolutely. We're always happy to help those guys and really glad that it was a good turnout for you guys.
Next one's from Red Sea.
I mean, I'm down for that. At the rate I'm going, it's 100 days before I die because my allergies are absolutely killing me. I just had I had like a half try not to sneeze on camera, try not to cough on camera fit. It's also why my eye is so red. So before anybody asks, yes, that's why I have one blood red eye.
Oh, wait, I thought you were just getting into fights with your wife like the French president.
No, although that
Please
was
tell
funny.
Me you saw that.
I did. And then the excuse was, we were play fighting. Nah, dog, you weren't. I've caught that particular right hand. That was not play fighting.
I've seen that. You got your mouth mushed in front of everybody.
That was you fawed and you foed quickly.
100%. 100%. I think he made an old lady joke about her. That's what
I don't know what he did, but I know I've caught that particular slap, which was, it's not a full-on right hook, but it's enough of a, hey, get your attention.
She's like 25 years older than him, right?
That part I did not know.
That was full-on mom mode. Yeah, she was his teacher.
Let's go.
They've been together since he was like 16.
Let's go. Okay, that's weird. We don't do that. That's
it is weird. She was 40 and he was 16.
Okay.
Super French of you. How French of you. Anyway, back to the sports world here. We got another one from Curtis. Watch TikTok, but one of the trending topics is what is that?
The black community.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just read it. I'll promise you. I didn't
know what that stood for. Okay, so the black community has adopted gingers. So as a member of the black community, I would like to say, welcome, fellow king. Looking forward to seeing you at the cookout.
I'm so glad Curtis did this. So I spent the weekend in Anderson, South Carolina. That's where my best friend lives. With the kids and his wife, and we go down there a handful of times a year, sit by the pool, play a little golf. His wife and my wife are good friends. We just have a weekend. I stopped at a gas station. I had absolutely no idea of what Curtis was talking about before Friday. I stopped at a gas station and got a 12-pack of Modelo's. You're going to understand where I'm going with this pretty quickly.
Okay.
Matt, that's what Matt likes to drink. So I got some in cans. You can't take glass on the golf course. This guy comes up to me. He's a big dude. And he said, "You're really taking this seriously." And I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. It got in my head and rattled around for like 4 hours. And I finally said something. We were playing in a big group on the golf course. Well, one of the guys that we played with is, I want to say he's a cop. I don't remember. He said something to the effect of what Curtis just said about the African-American community has accepted gingers. How do you feel about that? And I went, it all makes sense now. I understand. Now I understand what he was trying to say. I didn't know that. And then I got lost in TikTok and I went, okay, I'm down. I'm 100% down. As much crap as I get for being a ginger, I am so down.
Okay. All right.
And I will say
how did this? You're gonna have to catch me up. How did this all begin? I don't
know how it begun. Somebody would have to chuck it out there.
Okay.
I will tell you, as you know, I am a guy that my wife is the only white woman I've ever dated. I will say the food is better at every cookout. The music is way better, and I'm here. If you'll have me, I'm down. I don't wear New Balances, and frankly, Tank is the only friend that is like Tank. He's the only old white guy I'm friends with, so I'm super down.
I'm glad I can be that for you. Just you're only old decrepit.
Your
friend.
music's awful.
Awesome.
Like every time you say, "Hey, this is good," I go, "Nope, that's noise." That's noise, and I don't like it. Hey, I broke out the Beatles. Yeah, the Beatles suck. Where is Nas? That's what Creed. I need. Okay, now Creed is that is the one. Did you see Creed's logo was on an Indy car at the Indy 500?
No.
I laughed so much.
Really?
I was like, I don't even know who that driver is. I got sent that like 15 times. Is that the Creed logo on this car? Yes, it is.
I wonder how much they had to pay for that.
I have no idea, but I wanted that guy to win, and he didn't.
And he did not.
He did not. He's not the guy that ran over his crew, and he also didn't wreck on the pace lap, but that's the only two.
Matt says the New Balance dig was uncalled for, Jeremy.
Wasn't really a dig. I just don't do it. I don't do it. And I will tell you this. I'm a much younger man at heart than my age would suggest.
Right.
I'm not that guy. Best friend on the planet, he's that guy. We have the cookout. He's manning the grill. You touch his grill, he will fight you. Mm-hmm. I buy the food, he cooks it. It works out great that way. Now, me, on the other hand, I'm the one running the Bluetooth speaker around the pool.
Indeed. Points for Bob Brown. I was going to say that, but I didn't think I could say that. So I'm glad you said it. We're going to take a quick break here in the Sportsocracy. Which rabbit hole will we go down next? It's
this
the
hour
joys of
this
summer
hour
Sportsocracy.
This hour of uncomfortable Tank trying to figure out what he can and cannot say. Brought to you by Curtis Davis, and I enjoyed every second of it.
Indeed. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
The city.
All right, we're clear.
Thank you.
The event. Our legendary iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One.
Live. Welcome. One stage.
2 nights. The biggest stars in music return this September.
To make history.
The world's biggest artists are taking this stage.
Stream live only on Hulu.
I said, woo!
Listen right here as the star-studded lineup is revealed.
Tuesday morning, June 3rd.
At 8.
Looking for something fresh on Thursday nights? Join us at Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue for WTF Thursdays. That's Women to the Front, a new live music series spotlighting incredible solo female artists. Every Thursday from 6:30 till 8:30 p.m. in partnership with WTF Fest, we're bringing powerful performances and good vibes to the stage. It's free, it's fun, and it's all about supporting women in music. WTF Thursdays at Bear Smokehouse Barbecue, downtown Asheville.
Here's what's trending now on the new and improved iHeartRadio app.
Sarah Jessica Parker almost walked away from Sex and the City. She talks about that and a lot more on Are You a Charlotte? Plus, Snoop Dogg spills about his inauguration performance backlash, and trust me, he's got a lot of things to say about it with the Breakfast Club. And Aubrey O'Day, Diddy's former protege, joins Amy Robach and TJ Holmes for exclusive coverage of the trial that's gripping the nation.
Explore the latest. Open the free iHeartRadio app and see what's trending now.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingalls Table at ingalls-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this month's Parks Community Heroes, Corey and Kristen Short and the entire team at Silverados, who converted their music venue in Black Mountain into a donation and distribution zone in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Corey and his team founded Valley Strong,
here we go,
dedicated to providing essential support to our neighbors in need. Nominate your Parks Community Hero at Parks Community.
You with me?
Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
And we are back on ESPN Asheville. The Sportsocracy on a shortened holiday week here. The Tuesday through Friday thing, I really dig it. I'm jealous that you're getting ready to move to the 4-day week. But I got a meeting coming up in a couple of days here with Chris Womack. We're going to be sitting down and planning out some Womack Wednesdays, which will begin on June the 4th.
Yep, next Wednesday.
Yep, next Wednesday we'll have our first Womack Wednesday, and we'll have we got another day Braves game on Thursday of next week. I was just setting up next week's schedule. Notice that. So just a future heads up about that. We also will have another chance for you to win Braves tickets this week on the ESPN Asheville Facebook page. So stay tuned for that. That contest will be going up here tomorrow, should be going up tomorrow, and we can pick a winner for tickets to go see the Atlanta Braves take on the Boston Red Sox this weekend. Sunday, June the 1st, when the tickets are good for. I'll be going to the game. I know Ariel from Star 104.3, she'll be going to the game as well. So we'll probably all be seated near each other. So just another added bonus for listening to ESPN Asheville and the Sportsocracy. So we will tell you all about that once that content goes up on the Facebook. We've got another super chat here. The same way everything started. So this is the origin of the ginger community being adopted by the black community, apparently. So the same way everything starts, Ginger Girl says she hates being made fun of for being a ginger by white people and asks to be black. Black girl says gingers are black, and then the black community collectively said, okay, you're in. I didn't know that we were ostracizing gingers in the community.
Dude, do you know how much crap I get from people? Oh my! I mean,
okay,
I poor pitiful 6'5" dude. That
right?
But yeah, you do get. There are a lot of jokes.
I mean, the Jolly Green leprechaun.
Now, see, I always just punch people in the face. So for me, it wasn't that big a deal, and most people did not say it behind. They said it behind my back, not in front of me.
Okay, all right. Fair enough, I guess. Stephen Tao, he's not. Wow, Stephen Tao's he's not into baseball this year. Baseball's not real right now. Are the Orioles not doing that well?
No,
I haven't been really paying attention.
No, they fired their manager, and it didn't get any better.
Oh shoot! Well, shucks. Anyway, going to the game would be fun. So that's all I'm in it for. Love the live baseball experience. All right, it is 100 days and 100 prospects. 100 days away for the start of the NFL season. We got 50 shows between now and then, so we're doing two-a-days. Jeremy gives us 2 prospects every day that are in his top 100. And today, shocker of shockers, start with one of his new favorite teams.
Oh, yeah. Where's my song? I know you have it. I know you got it.
Oh, I didn't even think about it.
I know you got it. So there's no rhyme or reason to these aren't ranked. I'm putting them together. So every one of these guys will make sense with who they are put with.
Oh, you mean this one?
That's the one.
I hope we get to do this again this year.
Can confirm.
Yes. South Carolina was one of the coolest experiences ever.
I can confirm we will be going back to South Carolina this year. I can't tell you what game.
Right.
But I can tell you, we're not ready to release the schedule yet. I think as of right now, it looks like we'll be putting out the official schedule the week after we come back from the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I think it will happen. We put it out a little too early last year. And obviously then we had the hurricane and different things happened. And Tank got pulled in 48 different directions. And we had to try to get it back on course, but it was kind of like trying to get a bull to – wasn't easy. This year, we're meticulously planning these things out. We have a lot of combo dates. So it's a lot of like we're at a college game Thursday or a pro game Thursday, a college game Friday, a college game Saturday, an NFL game Sunday. So we're doing a lot of that this year. Tank will not be with me for all of these because, we don't want him to die. This is also why Jeremy is getting Wednesdays off in the fall, because I will be traveling and things a lot on weekends. A lot of times Wednesday will be my travel day. So I'll be doing the show from, I know one of them is in Ohio. I'll be doing the show from Ohio Thursday and Friday, and then we've got some tandem stuff. We're trying to branch out, make it even a bigger ocracy than the ocracy that it currently is.
Mm-hmm.
And we do want to get some cool people on this. Bill Workman, if we can get Great North. I know Zach Hurst will probably be involved in one of them because it's like down the street from his house. Matt, my best friend, he has volunteered his tribute to sacrifice one of those Atlanta trips for you. So you will not have to do Atlanta 6 times like we did last year. He lives like an hour from Atlanta, so it's real easy to just stay there, pop down, do it. Hey, we're done.
Right. It's going to be another fun season. So you have 2 Gamecocks in your top 100.
I do. LaNorris Sellers. That's the most obvious one. And I'll go ahead and tell you, the LaNorris Sellers conversation is going to get on my nerves pretty quick. Because I keep hearing him compared to Cam Newton, and I don't like that comp. LaNorris Sellers doesn't run to run. LaNorris Sellers runs when things break down. LaNorris Sellers is way more RG3 than he is Cam Newton.
Okay.
I get it. He's a big guy. He can run over people. He is special. I don't know what to do with his arm yet. I haven't figured that out yet. But I'm going to get there over the course of the year.
Mm-hmm.
LaNorris Sellers could be the number 1 pick in this draft, and it wouldn't shock me. There is a path to that. But the path that he gets there is the other Gamecock in my top 100 becomes the guy that he's supposed to become, and that's Nyck Harbor. If you played the college football game, College Football 25, you already know who Nyck Harbor is because he was a cheat code. He transferred a lot, and he can fly.
Mm-hmm.
He's DK Metcalf, only I think he's better than DK Metcalf.
Okay.
He just hasn't had the opportunities yet. He hasn't put up the stats. I heard Todd McShay say this about Nyck Harbor. I was glad to hear somebody else was as high on him as I was. Nyck Harbor last year had 26 catches, 376 yards. He's got like math. Math is hard. Got just under 600 yards in his career at South Carolina on 38 catches.
Mm-hmm.
And people will say, oh, you're really giving this kid a lot of credit. Have you ever looked at DK Metcalf's college stats? They weren't overly impressive. A lot of DK Metcalf was projection as well. And at Ole Miss, he had 1,200 yards in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's a huge difference. I think this is the year that you see Nyck Harbor kind of break out of his shell. He's still a really young guy. He's only a sophomore. He may not even be in this class, and it wouldn't shock me at all. But he's 6'5", 235, and he is the fastest player in college football. He can absolutely fly.
Mm-hmm.
And if those two both figure it out this year, South Carolina is going to be tough.
That shocks me that he only had, what did you say, 25 catches last
26.
year or something like that? 26 catches?
He's not a polished guy at all.
No, but I don't know. When I feel like he showed quite a bit of athleticism in that LSU game that we went to. And I don't see how he's not more involved than that in the offense. But maybe year 3 is the breakout year.
Well, I mean, he's just a sophomore right now. He redshirted that first year. He played a couple games, but he didn't do much.
Okay.
So now he goes into what is his redshirt sophomore year. And look, I mean, I think the kid's going to be good. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to be good. If you look at how their schedule sets up, it starts really light. Virginia Tech, a game in Atlanta that I think that game is so interesting. But then he goes South Carolina State, Vanderbilt, Missouri, Kentucky before they break into a very difficult back half of the schedule. So they have time to get the timing down before they play at LSU, Oklahoma, Alabama, at Ole Miss, at Texas A&M, Coastal Carolina, and Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
South Carolina is one of those teams that if they go 10-2, I hate to tell you this, they're going to be in the playoff. They might be in it at 9-3.
Right.
And they're going to be in the preseason top 10.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to hear that, but it's true.
All right, your first 2 from the top 100 for 2025. LaNorris Sellers, quarterback, South Carolina, and his top target, wide receiver, Nyck Harbor.
And just to answer, I think it was Alex in our YouTube chat, if Dylan Harbor wasn't a true sophomore, he is a 19-year-old true sophomore. He can't come out this year, or he would already be in my top 100 too. Everybody talks about all they lost. The best defensive player on that team is Dylan Stewart.
Oh, Dylan Stewart. Okay.
From last year, he is the most talented player on that defense, and he's just scratching the surface.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Stay tuned with us throughout the 100 days countdown to the start of the NFL season. We'll be having 2-a-days with the top 100 prospects on Jeremy's watch list. We'll be right back.
ESPN Asheville.
And we're clear.
Thank you.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Tuesday afternoon going to be damp, right? Back to work, back to school today. The damp weather's sticking around. A few showers around, maybe even a thunderstorm. Cool. 63 should do it. Tonight, mid-50s, a few showers, maybe some thunder, and some rumbles of thunder around tomorrow afternoon with the scattered showers. They're likely. Partly sunny in between, upper 70s, and a few showers, maybe an afternoon storm on Thursday, 75. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Staging.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. If you're ready for a new job, let Express Employment Professionals help you. Express is already hiring for summer jobs in a variety of industries. Job seekers never pay a fee at Express. Go to ExpressPros.com to find your location. That's ExpressPros.com.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now, there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co., LLC, used with permission.
Do you disregard people's personal space?
What's your outside story?
In public, even if there are tons of open seats? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night?
Jackson Dart. And
his number.
And the number.
Friends Memorial Day sale.
All right, mine's about the SEC.
Up to 70% on top brand.
Okay. About the meeting down in Florida.
Get
Yep.
matched at Mattress.
We've got 2 super chats too after we do outside before we slide into the just miss.
Right on.
I missed them both.
Radio app for the start of summer 2025. No matter where you go this summer, your favorite radio station, the music you love, and the best podcasts in the world will be along.
I'm down a screen, so I'm having to balance between 2 screens that I'm not used
After
to.
Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things.
So if anybody throws out a super chat and I miss it, do exactly what Soaring Eagle did. Because I did miss it and it went up too
redneck
fast.
with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy. Just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure
The mount
it out.
on my curved
You make
screen
stuff
broke,
happen.
so I'm going to
After
mount it
answering
back
the calls
behind
for
my
help
head.
that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here. The one that didn't survive the trip.
Yeah, I
Need tree help?
pieced
Call
it
the
back
Chainsaw
together,
Brothers.
and I came back home, and it was laying in the floor.
316.
Somehow it
Man,
didn't
Asheville
break.
has
I don't know
two
how it didn't
things
break
that
falling
all-
off this desk.
Right. Bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah. And they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried, and then topped with bacon and cheese. All right, so we'll do outside, then we'll do the super chats, and then we'll do the story. Sunday of every month, they partner
Sure.
with the Guitar Bar.
You tell me what to do, and I'll do it, because I didn't understand the words you just said.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
All right, we're back at the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Hey, Jeremy, how much would you pay for a number? We have all the time, guys going to new teams, and you may be, used to wearing a certain number, and somebody on the team already has it, so you get into that negotiation of, hey, can I have my number? I wonder what the number. $1 million? Is that too much? Is that about the going rate for a number change? I think
I would have paid a lot for my number.
For 13?
I have my number tattooed on me 6 times, so
Right.
I'm very beholden to my number.
Right. And of course, every time we hear one of these, I always think back to the great baseball movie, The Fan, with Robert De Niro and Wesley Snipes. I don't know that I would ever kill for a number, but I guess it means that much to some people. We had the New York Giants. We got Deonte Banks out here. He's just trying to make moves. He's just trying to see whatever extra little cash he can get on the side, because he had number 3, and Russell Wilson comes to town. And he sells number 3 to Russell Wilson, price undisclosed. So he switched from 3 to 2. Well, their new quarterback, Jackson Dart, he was number 2 with Ole Miss, and he considered, maybe I want to be number 2 again. He's been wearing 6 at training camp. But then apparently when he went to Deonte Banks and asked him about the price for number 2, he went, no, that's too much. I'll be number 6. It'll be fine. I'm like, is Deonte Banks trying to price gouge the rookie here?
Well,
that's my question.
Well, the thing about Deonte Banks, I don't understand why he didn't just give it up. He'd already given his number up once. He was 3.
Right.
He went to 2. Just give the rook the number.
Yeah, but he already made something off of 3, so he figured I can make something extra off of 2.
Yeah, you ever heard the phrase "pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered"? He probably has $250,000. You smoking crimes. Go be better at cornerback and shut up.
Right. So anyway, yeah, I guess he'll be sticking with number 2. Jackson Dart looks like he'll be sticking with number 6.
Look, Deonte, buddy, you're going to get 3 back in a year, because Russell Wilson ain't lasting here for long.
Right.
So just, okay, be cool.
It's a 1-year rental.
Speaking of being cool, Greg Sankey, he's looking at the ACC and Big 12 saying, be cool. Brett Yormark and Jim Phillips, that's the commissioner of the Big 12 and the ACC, came out with statements on Monday about the CFP's decisions and all of these things that are coming up. And basically both of them said this is for the good of college football, even though it's not the best thing for the Big 12 or the ACC. And Greg Sankey really didn't like that. His quote, "I don't need lectures from others about the good of the game. I don't lecture others about the good of the game. And coordinating press releases about the good of the game, okay, you can issue your press statements, but I'm actually looking for good ideas."
Mm-hmm.
Greg Sankey just went, "I don't care what you say." There are two entities here that matter. It's the Big Ten and us. I also think it's really stupid that we keep worrying about guaranteeing bids. Okay, I want to say this as clearly as I can to all the decision makers in college football. Stop worrying about things that don't matter. Guaranteeing the SEC 4 bids, I did a little legwork on this. Do you know in the last 15 years how many times the SEC would not have had 4 teams in this playoff? If you just went off the final poll,
I'll go 1.
It's 0. Never, not one time. Now, so there were a couple years where teams lost in bowl games and they got pushed down and they wouldn't have had 4 in the final poll. I'm talking about the one going into the bowl season.
Right.
The Big Ten, it would have happened twice.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be just fine. Just give us the 16 best teams. That's all we want. That's all we want. And stop making all of these things so much harder than they are. 16 best teams. If you're going to do buys, which I think you have to, you get bye home dates for 5 through 8. The bottom 8 play each other. They go into those home dates, so whoever gets the home field is a 5 through 8 gets a home playoff game, just like we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get into the final 8, and it goes all neutral sites. Done.
Yep.
Done. We're done. Top 4 get double buys because the top 4 deserve double buys.
Uh-huh.
If you're 16, yeah, I'm sorry, you have to win 5 games to get through this thing. Because I want more inventory.
Sure.
I want 16 games, and I don't want to risk losing Ohio State or Georgia or whoever the best teams are. I don't want to risk losing them to SMU.
Right. It looks like there's this big meeting over Memorial Day weekend. Always is with the SEC movers and shakers down in Florida. Apparently, some of the reports coming out of the meetings were that it got pretty heated at times, talking about the future of where we go from here. Looking at the playoff format was one of the big topics, obviously with all of the movement that we've had, and was just reading a recap that was talking about this 4-4-2-2-1 format that they want to use, where the Big Ten and the SEC get 4 automatic qualifiers, and then there's 2 for the ACC and 2 for the Big Ten and 1 for the group of 6, and then there would be 3 at-large spots from that.
I don't need all this.
Why are we doing that?
I don't need all this.
Right.
It will sort itself out. This is like and I hate to throw this back at Tank. This is like the old guy with his New Balances that's so worried about everybody's lunch order.
Right.
Order 8 sandwiches, Jerry. Somebody will order them. For the love of God, it doesn't take this much input. Just call Jersey Mike's, get 8 sandwiches. We got 8 people. 8 people will eat them.
Right. I did like the prospect, though, that the SEC has been discussing if that does come to fruition and we get 4 bids, then we have our own playoff to decide who goes. Like third and fourth would play each other, 5th and 6th would play each other, like the week before the playoff. That could be interesting.
Well, you
had definitely adds
you had
more
that
revenue.
horribly misseeded, but 3 would play 6, 4 would play 5.
Whichever. They would all play each other the week before to decide who gets the SEC automatic bids. It at least creates some more revenue for the SEC, and I mean that's in the end that's all they're looking for. That's all they're looking for. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, we will have we'll dive into the top 32 pass catchers for 2025 NFL season, according to Flostradamus Jeremy Green. Before the break, though, do you want to give us who didn't make the top 32?
Oh, let's hit these super chats first, just so we don't run out of time.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the Super chats. I said it, and I still.
I was about to say we discussed this.
I did. Responding to the Orioles, the fact that Stephen Tao's not into baseball because the Orioles aren't that good. He says, you know who the Orioles ain't? The Colorado Rockies. That's for damn sure. You can thank your lucky stars for that one.
Is Colorado good? I'm assuming
Colorado's terrible.
Oh,
Colorado's won like 9 games in the first 50.
Oh my!
Yeah,
they're
not.
9-4. They are 10 games behind the second worst team in. Oh wow, that's bad.
It's awful.
Good Lord!
Absolutely
in 54 games, their run differential is negative 173.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard to do.
Oh yeah, that sparked up a lot of discussion this year about salary floors and things. Like, okay, we know that the big teams spend a bunch of money, but maybe Colorado has to spend more than 15 cents. Can we do that?
Dude, I'm looking at the depth chart of the Colorado Rockies right now. I don't know a name. Chris Bryant, I know that name, but he's on the long-term DL. I don't know a single player on this team.
Nope. It's sad. It's very sad.
Whoa, and they're old too. They're not just bad. They're bad and old. Like, there's not 22-year-old kids on this team. It's all 25, 30, 26, 28. Woo.
Almost like when they, when they lost the deal with the Asheville Tourists, it all went south. Shocker of shockers.
That right there, my friends, is a woo-er.
Yes.
Yikes.
All right, we got one more from Great North. Our favorite Canadan says the torture ticket, 999, 9 beers, 9 hot dogs, and 9 innings. I couldn't.
I could.
That's one of those
I
just could not. I'd make it 2 innings maybe.
You know what the funniest part of that is? The hardest part for me would be 9 innings. I do 9 beers stand on my head. I'll do 9 hot dogs at a cookout. I just had 6 the other day.
The hardest part is sticking through the baseball game?
I just started back on the keto thing because I'm not going to lie. After 3 rounds of golf, I went, oh boy, you're not even just out of shape. You are a shape.
Yep. Sneaks up on you, doesn't it?
Life comes at you fast. Next thing you know, you're 300 pounds. You can't walk a golf course. Good Lord. How did that happen?
Right. Pretty much. All right. Honorable mentions for the top pass catchers in the NFL in 2025 who did not make the 32 list.
I'm going to hit the high notes here. The ones that I saw on other lists. Brandon Aiyuk's not in my top 32.
Okay.
I don't trust him to stay healthy. I don't like him as a 1. If they had another receiver on that team that there are 2 guys on the list.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he's even the best receiver on his team at this point. Jalen Waddle. If you watched him last year, you can't have him in a top 32. He wasn't just bad, he was irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. And I kept seeing him at 25, and I just don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of the year, he was an afterthought in that offense. John O. Smith had clearly passed him. Chris Olave is one I wanted on the list, but the injuries scare me to death.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you're going to get out of him. So he was one of those, I'm just going to throw him in honorable mention. If I knew he was going to play 17 games, he would have been my 25.
Okay.
I think I see 20. Yeah, he would have slotted in about 25, 26.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't know. He's 26 talented, but the injuries scare me to death.
Right.
Jameson Williams didn't make my list. I think there are 32 pass catchers better than him. I love him as a deep threat. I just really only love him as a deep threat.
Mm-hmm.
Cortland Sutton, there's no upside. I know exactly what he is. and he's going to be about 34. He might produce like 24, but there will be 10 number 2 receivers that I like better than him.
Okay.
Calvin Ridley, Jordan Addison, they all kind of fall in the same tier of they might produce that way. They're just kind of one-trick ponies for me. They really do one thing. They do that one thing really well. But I think in terms of all-around receiver, there are 32 that I like better than them. And then there were the just missed tight ends, Sam Laporta, Mark Andrews, T.J. Hawkinson, and Dallas Goedert.
Okay. That kind of surprised me. I thought Sam Laporta would be on that list, but just missed out.
Laporta just since Jameson Williams became a thing, because you got to remember Jameson Williams was an afterthought in that offense for quite some time.
Right. Well, I mean, he had the suspension and he was hurt, and there were things
and it was
that
just,
held him back.
It was an off and on thing. From that time, Sam Laporta has not really been the same player. I think he will be this year. I can tell you everything Dan Campbell said at the combine was we really want to make sure we get Laporta his touches. I just don't know where they come from. You know, I look at the breakdown of Detroit. Amon-Ra only got 140 targets last year. I mean, he caught 115 of them, which is a ridiculously high conversion rate.
Right.
Jameson Williams only got 91. So, I mean, Laporta had 83 targets, 726 yards on 60 catches, 7 touchdowns. Would it shock you if his stat line looked exactly like that next year?
No.
It wouldn't me either. It wouldn't me either. I don't know where they're going to come from.
Right.
Jared Goff threw it 539 times last year. I think Jahmyr Gibbs probably goes up. He only had 63, which surprised me. And then you get out of those top 2 receivers. It was Tim Patrick with 44, Khalif Raymond with 22. No, I'll give you $1 if you can tell me who the 5th highest targeted receiver for the Detroit Lions was last year. I forgot he was on the roster, if that tells you anything.
I don't know.
Allen Robinson.
Wow, and never would have got there.
I forgot he even played for the Lions.
He retired 6 years ago.
Somehow Allen Robinson went from a great young 23-year-old to he's been 33 years old for 10 years.
That's actually kind of true. You're in the Sportsocracy. It's ESPN Asheville power ranking the top 32 pass catchers for the 2025 season when we come back here on ESPN Asheville.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Thank you.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Tuesday afternoon, going to be damp, right? Back to work, back to school today.
I love Kelvin Joyner.
Around, a few showers around, maybe even a thunderstorm. Cool. 63 should do it.
Do you
Tonight,
see his
50s,
comment?
A few showers, maybe some thunder, and some rumbles of thunder around.
Now let me look.
Scattered showers. They're
Says just a reminder to the keyboard warriors, not being top 32 doesn't mean your favorite pass catcher is bad.
Yeah, nice.
God bless you for saying that.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Don't postpone better sleep. Shop Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale now. Upgrade to a premium bed from a curated selection and take your rest to the next level.
We have
Don't miss
another
out.
milestone
Visit Mattress
chat from
Firm
Sir
today.
Jimothy.
Get matched. Sleep at night.
And it's pretty funny.
How do you spot the all-new Nissan Rogue Rock Creek? Here's a hint. It's got all-terrain tires, a tubular roof rack you can't miss, and it's tough inside and out with lava red detail. You'll also find it in its natural habitat, climbing mountains, attacking rugged trails, and never backing down from any adventure. The first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions. Always secure cargo. Heavy loading of the vehicle with cargo, especially on the roof, will affect the handling and stability of the vehicle.
Summer's here, and you can now get almost anything you need for your sunny days delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get a chicken parmesan delivered. A cabana? That's a no. But a banana? That's a yes. A nice tan? Sorry, nope. But a box fan? Happily, yes. A day of sunshine? No. A box of fine wines? Yes. Uber Eats can definitely get you that. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Alcohol in select markets. Product availability may vary by region. See app for details.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
They say a gun is only as responsible as the hands that hold it. That's why an experienced gun owner doesn't leave safety to chance. They know safe storage isn't just a goal, it's a duty. Lock it up. Protect what matters. To learn more, visit ncsafe.org.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks Community heroes. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the areas that were hardest hit in those first hours. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Did you know Ingalls only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut...
Now we got 30 seconds.
I was about to say, did we run over that last segment, or did I just stop paying attention for a really long time?
No, we ran over a little bit.
Okay.
It's the best.
That's fine.
Is this the last commercial?
No. This one.
Buy
That one's the last one.
at Clarissa
Is
Sells
it 15 or
WNC
30?
with-
Yeah, it's 15.
Proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
From the Ingalls studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good. The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400, coming to you live from the Ingalls studio. He is Flostradamus Jeremy Green, coming to you live from the NFLDraft.net Mullet Manor. It is a
Power Rankings Tuesday.
The old Power Rankings Tuesday rolls on here. There is no offseason in the Sportsocracy, and top 32 pass catchers on the docket here for the next 2 hours here. We'll count down all the best in the league. Yeah.
Can I just state something for the record?
Yeah.
I really need somebody to work on making water taste better. I mean, because I'm supposed to drink like a boatload of it, and I don't want to because it doesn't taste awesome.
No. That's why I drink those little Kool-Aid flavor packet things.
Yeah, I have some of those.
Like
but
no calories, just 5 calories, I think, maybe.
I know.
No sugar. You just throw that into the water, and yes, there you go. You got all the flavors in the world. It's the only way I can get my water in.
I've had to. I mean, it has to be cold, super cold.
Mm-hmm.
You hand me lukewarm water, we're gonna fight.
You can start fusing water, right? You can buy those little contraptions that you can put fruit in and fuse the water with the fruit juice, and there's different ways that you can get around that.
Yeah, I like it with cucumber. I do like cucumber water.
Yeah, cucumber water is nice.
It's very.
I don't know if I could drink it in. I don't know if I could drink it in large quantities, though.
Oh, I have cucumber too. Oh wait.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Solving problems here all day long in the Sportsocracy. All right, before we get into the top 32 pass catchers for the 2025 NFL season, we do have another Super Chat. Is that the milestone chat should be the Chainsaw Brothers.
Woohoo! Yes. Yeah, you're the only one that can make that happen, but I agree with him.
Yes.
So it's decided.
Yeah, everybody gets a woohoo. from now on.
I can't. Now that you told me how that happened, I can't unhear it.
It's the reason that I left it in the commercial, because it was one of the most natural moments that we had in the recording process. Cody was so happy that we had reached the final word of the script. It was just, woohoo! Yep, keeping that one. Thank you, Cody, very much. Woohoo! And now we have, and now we're gonna have to get Chainsaw Brothers sweatshirts that just say "woohoo" on the front.
Oh, no doubt.
They should actually paint "woohoo" on the side of the truck. I'm gonna have to call Coley and tell him that.
No doubt.
That's your new catchphrase. Top 32 pass catchers for the 2025 NFL season. Now, this is not a fantasy ranking.
Nope.
Correct, Jeremy?
Nope.
This is not who's going to have the most stats in the upcoming year.
Stats were factored in, though.
Well, you have to take stats into account. Because, I mean, yes, you can have less talented pass catchers who are featured on a team that throws a lot, and their stats could be inflated, right? Just because a guy ends up as, a top. I like to use, I don't have a wide receiver off the top of my mind here, but I'm thinking of like Baker Mayfield, right? Baker Mayfield had a top 3 to 5 statistical season last year, but nobody thinks that he's a top 3 to 5 quarterback in this league. Just because the stats are there doesn't necessarily mean that tells you how good the player is. Who's a wide receiver that fits into that?
That the stats are better than they are, or they're better than the
Right.
stats? I couldn't figure out which way you were going with that.
The stats are better than they are.
Oh,
Lad McConkey?
Cortland Sutton was the first one that came to my mind.
Okay. All right.
Good. I mean, he's about a borderline 1,000-yard receiver. And that's – I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just you see him at 16 overall and go, oh, yeah, he's obviously a top 20 receiver in the league. I mean, do you realize who's behind him? A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Zay Flowers, Calvin Ridley, Nico Collins, Mike Evans, DK Metcalf, Puka Nacua, Juwan Jennings, DJ Moore, Tyreek Hill, T. Higgins. Good Lord, I could do this for so long.
All guys you would take, talent-wise, over Cortland Sutton.
Sure, and there's a merit that he puts up stats. I'm not railing on Cortland Sutton. That's not the point. But to what you asked me, he's the number 1 receiver on a team that didn't have a ton. He beat number 1 coverage. All of those things lend me to about 33.
Okay.
Now, the reason that I use Cortland Sutton is because I wanted to explain 32. Because my 32 is Khalil Shakir. And that's going to sound weird when I say it. Who takes the pressure off of him? Who takes coverage away from him?
Away from Khalil?
Mm-hmm.
Coleman?
Really? I mean, does he?
He's the only other one.
Because Coleman doesn't beat guys down the field either.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's probably the worst deep threat that I've ever seen considered a deep threat. And I love Keon Coleman. Also, by the way, fun, a little stat. How many guys for the Buffalo Bills last year had more than 57 targets?
5.
It's 2.
Really?
Khalil Shakir had 100. Dalton Kincaid had 75. They had 8 guys that were 25 or higher. That's insane to me.
Mm-hmm.
And Shakir's just the consistent. He's just the consistent. I don't think he's as talented as Cortland Sutton, Stephon Diggs, Jalen Waddle, all of those other guys. I think he does more with less. Because he's in a situation where he should be suppressed, and he actually consistently gets better year over year. Mm-hmm. And I love him to be a 1,000-yard receiver this year. He would have been last year if he'd played in all 17 games.
Okay.
But he didn't.
All right, Khalil Shakir at number 32. 31.
George Pickens. George Pickens makes my head hurt. Just being totally honest with you.
Why? Because he punched you in the face when you weren't looking?
No.
Because he'll do it.
Because he hits every metric that I want him to hit.
Okay.
Every single one of them. He's over 15 yards per catch. His catches per game is high. He had an 1,100-yard season in his sophomore year. Last year he missed 3 games, or he would have been right back there close to that again. Mm-hmm. He doesn't score touchdowns at a very high level. And now this year with the Dallas Cowboys, we're going to find out, was that because you're not that guy, or was it because you're not a one? Because now you're going to get all the pressure taken off of you. CeeDee Lamb's getting number 1 coverage any time he's on the field.
Yep.
And I've seen a lot of people that don't like that addition for Dallas. I think Dallas was the perfect spot for George Pickens.
Mm-hmm.
Personality-wise, maybe not. In terms of on the field, I don't know that he could have gone to a better place.
That's what I was thinking.
Now, all right, so you agree with me. I want to see if you agree with me for the same reason. We didn't talk about this before the show.
Yeah.
So why do you say that?
Because I believe George Pickens does have that. He does have that dog in him. And that's not just because he's a Georgia guy. It's because he is really talented. And he is a really physical guy. That is to a detriment sometimes. But if you give him an actual one in CeeDee Lamb on the other side, and a quarterback like Dak Prescott, look, we talk about Dak Prescott, till we're blue in the face sometimes, and we have said some awful things about him. But he's a pretty damn good quarterback.
He's fine.
He can get the ball to his guys.
He's a stat accumulator. It's what he's always been. It's what he always will be.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, it's funny you said that. I got into a Dak Prescott thing over the weekend, and I can't remember the guy's name now, but everything he said about Dak Prescott, I agreed with. All of it. He's overrated. He's a stat accumulator, but he's fine. I'm not upset about Dak Prescott being my quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I say that George Pickens fit into a nice spot here is, what's the number one thing you worry about with him? Like from pillar to post, him being on your team, what are you concerned about?
His head staying in the game.
Exactly. Jalen Tolbert last year had how many targets for the Dallas Cowboys?
How many?
79.
Okay.
Jalen Tolbert is not half of the receiver that George Pickens is.
Mm-hmm.
See, unlike what I said about targets earlier, I see where Pickens is going to get to his 100, 110, maybe even 120. And I think at that rate, even with him being the 2, he's going to put up numbers and he's going to be involved to such a point that his head stays in it.
Mm-hmm.
Jake Turd Ferguson had 86 targets last year. Kevontae Turpin had 52.
Mm-hmm.
Rico Dowdle had 49. Brandon Cooks had 54. That was with Cooper Rush playing half of the year. The Dallas Cowboys threw it 637 times last year.
Mm-hmm.
That's enough volume to keep 2 guys very happy.
Yes.
And I think Pickens is, in terms of talent, one of the top 25 guys in the league. The head case pushes him down, but he has a nice ceiling that I like, and that was what got him on the list.
Yep. Number 30.
Oh, now I said the last guy made my head hurt. This guy's made my head hurt for what feels like 22 years. Jerry Jeudy.
Okay.
Jerry Jeudy, even in his good year, was absolutely infuriating.
Mm-hmm.
So he finally has a 1,000-yard year, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had 55 missed targets last year. 145 targets. He only caught 90 of them. And I get it. Some of that's quarterback play. Some of it's playing with multiple quarterbacks. I get it. Jerry Jeudy's just the guy I look at and go, you should be Devontae Smith, and you're not. You're like Devontae Smith if you ordered Devontae Smith on Temu. And he shows up and he's 4 sizes too small, And it doesn't look like it did in the picture. Jerry Jeudy has one of the better receivers I've ever graded. Great route runner, plus speed, plus hands. Why 5 years into your career have you only broken 1,000 yards once? And you say it's quarterback play. You can say whatever you want it to be.
And that's immediately where I go.
But you're still dealing with that.
Who he played with.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Of elite receivers, the guys that you think to be elite in the NFL,
yeah,
how many of them can you say didn't upgrade quarterbacks? All right, I'll just go the other guys that were in the top 10 of receiving yards last year. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Brian Thomas Jr., Drake London, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Malik Neighbors, CeeDee Lamb, Brock Bowers, Ladd McConkey. Every single one of those guys makes their quarterback better. Jerry Jeudy doesn't. Jerry Jeudy somehow does not make any quarterback he ever plays with better than they were before him. I think he's top 15 naturally talented. But there is something about him that has just never clicked. And even last year, it's a lot of empty calories. He had that one huge game against Denver. I think it was Denver, right? I think it was like a Thursday night game or something like that. Yeah, 235 against Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize he only broke 100 yards one other time, or two other times the whole year, and one of them was by 8 yards?
Yeah.
That's a weird stat for a guy that had 1,230 yards. He was just there.
He was just steady in all the other games.
Yeah, he's just a
solid,
guy.
And give you 75 yards a game.
Oh, Tay had a really good comp. Is Jerry Jeudy Michael Crabtree? God, I've never thought of that because they're two completely different wide receivers. But that's such an apt comparison. It's such an apt comparison because I think they're so talented, but you just never saw it. You don't watch Jerry Jeudy and go, that's one of the best route runners I've ever seen. You don't ever look at him that way.
No.
But he is. I know he is. I saw it in college. I saw it when I evaluated him. Then he came to the league, and it's like he forgot everything. And now he's he's a dude. He's a good dude, but he's just a guy.
Mm-hmm. Well, just a guy. He did lead the Browns last year, which ain't saying much.
No.
But it's the best year he's had.
All right, I want to go to
maybe this year he'll take another step, but I doubt it.
I was about to say, what's this step going to look like?
Right, because he's got the same quarterback situation.
I think he just had the best year of his career, and the best year of his career wasn't all that impressive anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to go to the next guy on the list just to make a comparison.
Okay. At number 29.
Juwan Jennings. That feels high.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's not. Juwan Jennings was a guy you didn't expect squat out of. 7th-round pick out of Tennessee. Big-bodied guy, but not overly fast. And maybe he's just a scheme fit in San Francisco. I don't know.
Right.
Last year, every time you expected Juwan Jennings to have a game, you know what he did?
He had a game.
He had a game. Every time. Every time. And then it got worse over the course of the year. And by the end of the year with Debo and Kittle being healthy and McCaffrey coming back, it was like the target share just kind of went down. He did have 2 10-target games to end the year. But when I watch him, he feels like, I mean, I hate to use this comparison, but I really like it now I'm thinking about it. He plays kind of like Michael Crabtree. He's not going to blow by you. But he's really crafty, and he seems to fit that scheme so unbelievably well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you factor in stats plus situation plus talent, he belongs at the bottom of this list. Right now, if you were starting a team, would you rather have Jerry Jeudy or Juwan Jennings?
Who?
Because for me, it's Juwan Jennings. I wouldn't even thought about it.
I don't know that I would. I don't know that I would go that way, but I'd have to think about it. I'll let you talk me into it.
Jennings is 2 years. Jennings is 2 years older. I think he's hit his cap, but I think his floor is so much safer.
Yeah.
Because Jerry Jeudy can just fall out of games. Just where it's like it doesn't even interest him, and he doesn't even want to try. I go back to that 2021 year with the Broncos where he had some injury things, and he just disappeared. Even when he was on the field, he wasn't on the field. I never feel that way about Jauan Jennings. He is locked in every time he's on the field. He's not physically gifted the way Judy is, but he's got that competitor mindset that I want on my football team.
No. Well, they had to lean on him last year. And did you say he's 2 years older than Judy?
Yeah, he'll be 28 in a month.
Wow.
He was an old prospect coming out.
Yeah. I didn't think he was quite that old, but okay.
Jauan Jennings was one of those, like, I think he had the COVID year at his disposal, but he didn't take it. And he was really old coming out, and I think he played 5 years in college.
Right, and didn't he start at Oregon?
Yes.
And ended up going to Tennessee?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. It's all coming back to me. Man, that's crazy to think, though. He's 2 years older than Jerry Jeudy.
He didn't start it. He didn't start at Oregon. He was at Tennessee the whole time.
Did he not? Okay.
Yeah, he was not he was a quarterback, and he converted to wide receiver. No, the one I know who you're thinking of. It'll come to me in the break.
Was that another Jauan Jennings? Was that a Juwan Johnson? Is that who I'm thinking of?
I think that was Juwan Johnson.
I have no idea. Again, stop it.
Somebody in the chat.
Go by Benny. Juwan, go by Benny. His real name. His first name is Benny. So Benny Jennings. That rolls right off the tongue. We could just stop with this whole Juwan nonsense.
Benny Jennings sounds like the guy that used to like break windows out with a slingshot and a rock. Little Benny's been down there breaking windows again.
Old Benny Jennings. I tell you, when that boy grows up, he's going to wind up with a number on his shirt. Just the neighborhood troublemaker. Okay, maybe Juwan is the best way to go. What do I know? You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we will continue counting down the top wide receivers, top 32 wide receivers for the 2025 NFL season when we come back.
The city.
All right, clear.
Thank you. I'll be right back.
The event. Our legendary
yes, sir.
Radio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One.
Live. Welcome. One stage.
2 nights. The biggest stars in music return this September.
To make history.
The world's biggest artists are taking this stage.
Stream live only on Hulu.
I said, woo!
Listen right here as the star-studded lineup is revealed.
Tuesday morning, June 3rd.
At 8.
How do you spot the all-new Nissan Rogue Rock Creek? Here's a hint. It's got all-terrain tires, a tubular roof rack you can't miss, and it's tough inside and out with lava red detail. You'll also find it in its natural habitat, climbing mountains, attacking rugged trails, and never backing down from any adventure. The first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions. Always secure cargo. Heavy loading of the vehicle with cargo, especially on the roof, will affect the handling and stability of the vehicle.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check for your wallet first, before hitting the drive-thru.
$6.
Sorry, forgot my wallet. I have change, though. Here's 40 cents, another 40. Ooh, a bicentennial.
What's that?
Oh, gosh.
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I lived on a commercial salmon fishing boat in Alaska, and I genuinely think that was the first time I've ever felt myself kind of like slipping mentally. I think Alaska does weird things to people.
If you're interested in hearing anonymous callers like this tell stories from their lives, check out my podcast, Therapy Gecko. You can listen to Therapy Gecko on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Therapy Gecko and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah. And they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
Oh, we are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, and yeah, it was Juwan Johnson was the one that went to Oregon. Although maybe I've unlocked it. Maybe I have unlocked this whole Juwan Johnson controversy in my own brain, because I had forgotten that Juwan Jennings, he was the one that caught the Josh Dobbs Hail Mary against Georgia back in 2016 to win that game at the buzzer, which was one of those plays that just broke your heart as a Georgia fan. So maybe that will forever stick in my brain now that I've made that final connection. I doubt it. I'm probably going to screw it up.
I was about to say.
Minutes. So just stay tuned.
This is like your version of my Russell Westbrook. I'm gonna call him the wrong thing every single time we talk about him.
Exactly. All right, so Juwan Jennings of the San Francisco 49ers, former Tennessee Volunteer, will be or is the number 29 wide receiver for the 2025 NFL season. Who comes in at number 28, Jeremy?
DK Metcalf.
Okay.
I want to do 28 and 27 together.
All right, 27.
Deebo Samuel. Because they both bring something that I don't think people give enough credit to, even if it doesn't lead to their own statistical benefit.
Okay.
You have to game plan against them.
Mm-hmm.
DK Metcalf is so big and so fast that you have to game plan of how to stop him. If you don't have a big, long, Reek Woolen, Sauce Gardner type corner, you've got to pull a safety over, and it benefits guys around him. I said that I didn't feel like there's a lot of difference between DK Metcalf and George Pickens, and talent-wise, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
But then I really started looking at the receivers they have with Calvin Austin III, Roman Wilson, and I understood it. I don't necessarily agree with it, but it makes it make better sense. DK's going to pull that safety over, and it's going to help Roman Wilson. It's going to help Calvin Austin. It's going to help Pat Freiermuth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that George Pickens necessarily did that. Not to the same level. So, yes, I think they're similar talents, but DK is beneficial when it comes to actually scheming an offense in the NFL. I don't think Deebo Samuel is one of the 22 most talented or 32 most talented wide receivers in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I think he might be one of the 20 most talented weapons because he can do so many things that other people can't do. I can't just hand the ball out of the backfield to a lot of receivers. I can't constantly send you in jet motion. I can't constantly send you in pre-snap motion. That's what he brings. And I think you're really going to see it this year with Washington. There's a name that's not going to be said for quite some time that people may think I'm too high on. It's a teammate of Deebo Samuel. And I probably just told you who it was. But
yeah, we know who it is.
I don't think you think I'm talking about Luke McCaffrey. So I believe you probably know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
I think he unlocks Terry McLaurin in a way that nobody else ever has. That's why I loved that addition when it was made, because now I'm simplifying the reads for Jaden Daniels. I'm pushing against that sophomore slump. Anything you saw on tape, yes, you can still use it because they may still be deficiencies of Jaden Daniels, but now it's going to look so different that I can mitigate it to a point.
Mm-hmm.
Those two are tremendous weapons. I was very careful when we phrased this. This is top pass catchers. That's everything all-encompassing.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that on purpose because I don't really think either one of those two are top 25 natural receivers. But they're in the top 32 of hardest guys to game plan against.
Okay. Number 26.
Another guy that kind of falls into that criteria, DJ Moore. I feel like this is too low.
Agreed.
But I don't know who I'm supposed to put him in front of. I love DJ Moore.
I was going to say, is this all just because he has Caleb Williams throwing him the ball?
Caleb's not helping squat. You know what really bothers me about where DJ Moore fits in right now? How many receivers in the NFL last year had over, and I could dumb this down a lot, but I'm just going to go straight to DJ. How many guys had 95 receptions and didn't break 1,000 yards?
Oh, my. I'd say one.
It's one.
Yeah.
He's the only one. And as a matter of fact, the only one even close was one. There were two more close. Wan'Dale Robinson, that's a whole nother story, and Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce had 97 catches for 823 yards, averaged 8.5 yards per catch. He's not a receiver. He's a tight end. I'm using him across the middle. This is an outside receiver that averaged less than 10 yards a catch. Jamar Chase was at 13.4. Justin Jefferson was at 14.9. CeeDee Lamb's at 11.8. Even Garrett Wilson was at 10.9. DJ Moore, to me, feels more like a gimmick. He's a gimmick that can burn you deep.
Mm-hmm.
And Kelvin Jordan's got a really good point. There's something to the fact that he's been good with a number of quarterbacks. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I revert back to what I said about him when I remember when he came out and the Carolina Panthers drafted him. You and I were on air with Nay Brown, and Nay and I could not have disagreed more about DJ Moore if we tried, because he loved him.
Mm-hmm.
He thought, this is a kid coming to Maryland. I think I said Memphis. He came out of Maryland. I thought he was a gadget player. He was going to take jet sweeps, and you're going to have to manufacture his touches because he's not a very good route runner. He's still not a good route runner at 28 years old, but he gets results. So he gets kind of hard for me to place. And I'll go to number 25. It's Chris Godwin. I want you to name me the thing DJ Moore does better than Chris Godwin. Does he block better than him? No. Does he run routes better than him?
No.
Does he beat you over the top better than him? No, because Chris Godwin can run a seam with unlike virtually anybody else in this league. And that's what I keep running into with DJ Moore. I think you're a great player. I'm just not sure you're actually great at any one thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're an accumulation of talent. And you had that one just super special year with Chicago the first year you were there. With you and Justin Fields, you had that threat of Fields running out of the backfield. And you absolutely annihilated teams where safeties couldn't get over to you quick enough. I don't have that fear with Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is not going to take off and run. I don't have to hold a safety to keep Caleb Williams in the pocket. And then I went back to those Panther years. He was this, specifically in one of them, in the 2020 season, he averaged 18.1 yards a catch.
That's pretty good.
It's not, though. It's not, and I'll tell you why it's not. Yards per catch is one of those things that there is a target range. Because, yes, he had 1,193 yards. He only had 4 touchdowns. He only had 66 catches the entire year. Mm-hmm. The offense was awful. Okay, so you can hit some big plays. In large part, you're empty calories. You're not winning consistently. Now, on the two opposite sides of that, 2019, 2021, he did. And he was more in that target range of 12.4, 13.5. I know you can do it. I don't know why you have these years where you don't. And it pushes him below more consistent guys, which leads me to Chris Godwin. The only fear I have with Chris Godwin is how does that knee bounce back from last year?
Right.
Outside of that, you're a top 15 guy. When I say something wrong, you feel free to tell me.
No, I mean you're 29 years old, coming off of a pretty devastating knee injury. There should be a lot of questions, and again, one of the reasons why Tampa went the way they did in the first round of the draft. There's questions there.
God, will you please stop trying to justify that? It's never going to work. The only time that you're ever going to justify that is if Emeka Egbuka becomes Justin Jefferson. Then I'll listen to you. Outside of that, that was still stupid, and it will be stupid until my dying day.
Okay. We'll see.
I hated this receiver class. To be really honest with you, I just hated it. And to jump out of line to take one, when that was the least of your needs. If that's the case, then why'd you re-sign Chris Godwin? You're just scared to let him go? Just reward him for a job well done.
Yeah. Because you don't get rid of guys like that. And it's an insurance policy. It's a high price to pay for an insurance policy. It's an insurance policy.
Yeah, you're insurance rich. Good for you. I just look at Chris Godwin he's everything I like in a receiver. He's a willing blocker. His catch rate is super high, and it always has been.
Yep.
And he doesn't win with speed. That's why I guess I'm not overly worried about the knee. Chris Godwin wins with things that, okay, he loses a step. Who cares? He wins with nuance better than practically any receiver in the league.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to continue to be able to do that. He may not be able to blow by you down the seam the way he did.
But he can definitely find that soft spot in the zone.
For sure.
And that's why I love Chris Godwin. Every Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan loves Chris Godwin. I
think every NFL fan that's not of the Panthers or Saints. If you don't love the Panthers, the Saints, or the Atlanta Falcons, you love Chris Godwin.
Right. You could not let him go. There's no way you're splitting up that duo. But it is getting older. And last year, Chris Godwin missed time. Mike Evans missed time. I mean, the top three the top three targets in that offense missed like a total of 40 games or something.
Chris Godwin last year played 7 games.
7 games, yes.
He played 7 games. He got hurt in, I believe it was week 7, because I think your bye was late, wasn't
it? I think that's correct.
Okay. I'm trying to remember the stat without actually having to go back and fact check it. Chris Godwin was still in the top 10 in the NFL in receiving yards in week 12.
Mm-hmm.
That should tell you a lot. He was on path for a outrageously good year.
Yes.
And I think he'll do it again. Mm-hmm. I think I might be too low on Godwin. It's just the knee scares me just a little bit.
You have to be apprehensive when a guy comes off of an injury like that. You just have to. Top 32 pass catchers. Sorry, almost screwed that up. 32 pass catchers for the 2025 NFL season, according to our very own at ESPN Draft Nerd, Jeremy Green. When we return, we'll continue the countdown.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Mountain weather forecast.
Tuesday afternoon, going to be damp, right? Back to work, back to school today. The damp weather's sticking around. A few showers around, maybe even a thunderstorm. Cool. 63 should do it. Tonight, mid-50s, a few showers, maybe some thunder, and some rumbles of thunder around tomorrow afternoon with the scattered showers. They're likely. Partly sunny in between, upper 70s, and a few showers, maybe an afternoon storm on Thursday, 75. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Staging.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. Hurry in to DQ for their sauced and tossed chicken strip baskets with flavor from the top, bottom, and everywhere in between. Try them today in Honey Bar or New Buffalo, only at DQ. Happy tastes good, only at participating Dairy Queen locations.
This is Secret Clinical Dominating Extra Stinky Stress Sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. Oh, what a beautiful day. This is regular deodorant. Ugh, I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. Let's run another marathon. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT. Because nothing fights sweat better.
Stay fresher under pressure. Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now, there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's. Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co., LLC. Used with permission.
Grab your shades, your flip-flops, and your free iHeartRadio app for the start of summer 2025. No matter where you go this summer, your favorite radio station, the music you love, and the best podcasts in the world will be along for the adventure. Make sure you have the free iHeartRadio app in your phone today.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shop.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this month's Parks Community Heroes, Corey and Kristen Short and the entire team at Silverados, who converted their music venue in Black Mountain into a donation and distribution zone in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Corey and his team founded Valley Strong Disaster Relief.
All right, we're skipping weird, right?
Support to our neighbors in need.
Yeah.
Nominate your Parks Community Hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling?
Because I love football.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy, the top 32 pass catchers for the 2025 NFL season. Joining us now in the countdown, Flostradamus, Jeremy Green. Number 24, Jeremy.
George Kittle.
All right, George Kittle. All right. Oh, our first tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What about 23?
Who's 23?
Brock Bowers.
Oh, another tight end.
What about 22?
Oh.
Trey McBride.
Okay.
I put all three tight ends together, and I'm going to tell you why I did it. I think George Kittle is the most talented of the bunch. He's also the one that injury-wise scares me the most.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Bowers' situation scares me the most. But I think he's so close to Kittle talent-wise that it's almost a wash, and the injury pushes Kittle below Bowers for me.
Okay.
The injuries.
Why does the situation scare you the most in Vegas?
With Brock Bowers?
Yeah.
Name me the best tight end Pete Carroll's ever had. Point proven.
Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham in Seattle on the backside years where he overpaid for him, and he was 40% of what he was in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm. Seattle. Seattle. Of course it was Seattle.
Seattle.
Greg Olsen. Was he still there?
Yep.
He was still there when Greg Olsen was there for his swan song.
And it was the swan song. None
Right.
of these guys were super, super dynamic.
Right.
It also scares me that there's not a lot to pull. I like the Raiders. I don't know exactly what's going to pull coverage. I also don't know exactly how Pete's going to use him because he's never had one like this. Brock Bowers can do everything. And I'm not totally sure how that's going to look. I also know that in terms of how good of a player he is, it may not matter. He's just that good.
Mm-hmm.
But it does scare me that he doesn't have a true number one wide receiver. I like Jacoby Myers. He will not be featured on this list. He was in the also receiving votes. And then Trey McBride, I think, is probably the least talented of the three.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a shot. It's just I like the other two better. I still love Trey McBride. The situation for him is exponentially better. They have a legit running attack. I think they have a legit quarterback. They have a legit number one receiver that's getting ready to make the star turn. And that's kind of where I'm at. Is I think McBride probably statistically is the best of the bunch, and I have them so close.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way I could really separate them. Red Sea says those are fighting words. I just said your tight end was not as good as the greatest tight end prospect I've ever evaluated and the best tight end in the league. That's all.
Trey McBride is our god.
I have him light years ahead of Sam Laporta, if that tells you anything. And I like Laporta. I just think the three best tight ends in the league are so clearly better than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Then it gets into like nuance of how are they going to be used? Who's going to get the target share? They all three can do practically anything you ask them to do. And I love all three of them, but I think they belong here together. Do you disagree with anything I just said?
I do not. My question to you is if MHJ does take the star turn, does that help Trey more or does it hurt Trey more?
It helps. It helps. It helps. It helps. It helps. And when we get to Marvin Harrison Jr., I will explain to you why.
Mm-hmm.
We're not quite there yet, but when we get there, I will tell you why.
Okay. All right. So 24, 23, 22, all tight ends. George Kittle at 24, Brock Bowers at 23, Trey McBride at 22. Those are all of the tight ends on the pass catcher list. So let's get back into the wide receivers at number 21.
I don't want to.
You don't want to?
I don't want to.
You don't want to tell us who number 21 is?
I do not.
Because you're going to get railed for it?
No.
Or what?
Because it's Lad Stupid McConkey, and I don't think he is this good, but I couldn't put him any lower.
Lad McConkey. I mean, I tried to tell you.
And you keep saying that like I said Lad McConkey was going to be some bum. He's exactly what I told you he was going to be, just better at it than I thought.
He is
a slot exclusive wide receiver that puts up stats. If you remember, I compared him to Julian Edelman when he came out, just a much faster version.
Yes.
That's what he is. That's the reason I didn't want to say it, because I get so tired of people. I tried to tell you. Okay, let me ask you a question, and I can't wait to hear your answer on this. Can Lad McConkey be the best receiver on a Super Bowl championship team?
No.
I agree with you, and that's my problem. Because I feel like every single player that I will say from now till the end of this show, the answer could be yes. He's a no.
I don't know. Could he be?
No. The answer is no.
Cooper Kupp was. So, I mean, Lad McConkey could be.
Okay, Cooper Kupp was also a number one receiver on a team that had Odell Beckham Jr. That also had a really good defense.
Right.
I mean, okay, so if you're gonna say I have one of the best defenses in the league and I have one of the best defensive players that ever lived, and I have a great quarterback, and then yes, I guess technically he could be.
I mean, a lot would have to happen, but maybe he could be. Maybe he could be on a championship team with the Los Angeles Chargers someday. You don't know. I mean, he's got the quarterback, hopefully. Right? He's got the coaching staff that's going to have a good defense at some point, and maybe they get him a partner that's almost as good.
Randy L said you had me spinning with that comment. You're not wrong because I didn't think of that one. But there's also the but of they ran the ball really well. They had Odell Beckham Jr. That's a lot of things that you had to add. Cooper Kupp's played in this league for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Won Super Bowl.
Yep.
And there was a lot of stuff around him. I guess I just look at Ladd as you're going to be a great piece, but you're still not really a true one. You may have one talent. You don't have one body. You don't play a one position.
Mm-hmm.
Even my favorite player in this league is a slot receiver, and I struggle sometimes to think, and he's so much more than just a slot guy. I even struggle to think sometimes, can Amon-Ra St. Brown be the no doubt best receiver on a team that wins a Super Bowl? And then I realize, oh, wait, he doesn't have to be because he has Jameson Williams and Sam Laporta.
Right.
He can be the head of the snake, but 2 and 3 are awful close.
Yes.
I look at Ladd and go, what you've got right now, I love this Charger team. I love them. They're my favorite over bet. I think they can win the AFC West. I think this team could make it to a Super Bowl. You know what keeps me from saying that they will? Who in the hell is going to win on the outside?
Mm-hmm.
The Mike Williams that I just watched for a year with my Jets? I'm going to say no. Quentin Johnston. I'm going to say no. You don't even have Josh Palmer at this point. I love this team, and I think they're going to win a different way. He's just – I think Ladd is really, really good. And Kelvin Joyner, that's a perfect way to say it. Edelman had Gronk. Ladd does not have a Gronk. And there's my problem.
Mm-hmm.
There's my problem. I think Julian Edelman did so much of the dirty work for those Patriot teams. I never think of him before Gronk.
Right.
And it's the same premise. You could do so much dirty work. You could do a bigger percentage of work for a Super Bowl team. And I still don't think you're ever going to be the guy I give credit to.
Right.
Because you're just a slot guy. You're a really good slot guy. Arguably the second best one in the NFL. He was very good last year. I'm really curious to see what the next year looks like.
I am as well. Because I feel like, you know, we've seen this happen before. We've seen players who kind of fall into that just he gets open category. And I'm namely thinking of one guy came into the league, was really good for a year or two, and then just dropped off the world. It was Hunter Renfrow.
I was about to say. That was one of the names that came to my mind.
Right, Hunter Renfrow did this. Remember, he had like an amazing year where he had damn near 100 catches. Or maybe he had over 100 catches. I don't remember.
He had over 100.
And then what happened? And then what? Well, the Raiders happened. And I don't even, is he still in the league anymore?
Yeah, he's playing with the Panthers. He took 2 years off, and now he's back in Carolina.
Wow. Okay.
He had 103 catches in 2021.
I hope he has a resurrection there in Charlotte.
And outside of that 1
would be
year,
really cool to see.
And outside of that 1 year, he had 166 catches in 4 years.
Precisely. So I am very interested to see if Ladd can keep it up. Coming in at number 21, the top 32.
These next three are what really give me pause with Ladd McConkey.
Okay, let's go to number 20.
Zay Flowers.
Mm-hmm. You want to do them all together?
Yep.
All right. 19.
Jackson Smith-Njigba.
And 18.
Marvin Harrison Jr. In terms of raw talent, one of those four is not like the others. And that's what bothers me. I see a path that Zay Flowers becomes a top 10 receiver in the NFL.
Okay.
I see a path that Jackson Smith-Njigba becomes a top 10 receiver in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I see a path that 1 year from now we're talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. in the top 5. I don't see that with Ladd. I don't see any path to that because you're not as physically gifted as they are.
Mm-hmm.
Those three are all not of this earth. Zay Flowers is one of the best deep threats I've ever evaluated. And he plays with a quarterback that you have to keep a safety up against or he's going to light you up running the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I wish they could find another Zay Flowers, but that is a story for another day. Jackson Smith-Njigba, Seattle's trying to tell you what he is. You just have to listen. And I have not done the greatest job of listening up until this point, but now I've now I got my little ears perked up. If you look around at what they did in the offseason, they're trying to tell you. JSN is the one here. He's the, no doubt, number one guy. Big dog, not worried about any of these other things because there's no more Tyler Lockett and there's no more DK Metcalf.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell me Cooper Kupp all you want to. If you go back and watch what he looked like with the Rams last year, that doesn't look like a 2 in this league anymore. They're trying to tell you Jackson Smith-Njigba is this good. And I went back and watched a little film on him, let's see, the end of the week before last. And he's really impressive when you just watch him. You're having to do some growing it out as an outside receiver, as a one. It's not just an apples-to-apples comparison, but I see where they're coming from. Then we get to Marvin Harrison Jr. And I heard everybody and their brother talk about how big of a disappointment MHJ was last year, and he should have been the no-doubt Rookie of the Year, and you told me he was this great receiver, and blah, 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 blah. Then I went back and watched it. And let's take the stats out of it, because I get it. He was 33rd in the league in receiving yards. He had a really poor catch rate. Watch him against single coverage. Single coverage never stopped him.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. He destroyed it. And then as Trey McBride came on and came on and came on and came on, it became a thing of he's figuring this out, and now he's bulked up. I don't know what Marvin Harrison Jr. weighs right now. He's listed at 209, and I got news for you. If he's 209, I'm 360. Because that dude's every ounce of 230 pounds and still looks really seamless in and out of breaks.
Mm-hmm.
I've made it my objective to, I've turned fantasy football, that is David Smith and Zach Hurst game. You're way more locked into fantasy than I am. You're going to get way better advice from them. I will give you this one tidbit. I will have Marvin Harrison Jr. in no less than 75% of leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think he's going to do the rookie-sophomore thing in reverse. Because he seemed to get more familiar and more acclimated. It wasn't like Ohio State. I don't have Garrett Wilson on the other side. I don't have Chris Olave on the other side. I don't have Jackson Smith-Njigba on the other side. It's just me. And I think it took him some time to figure that out, and it took some time for Arizona to figure out how to use him. I don't think you're going to have that problem this year. And you asked, is him taking that star turn going to be an issue for Trey McBride?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you a stat that might catch you a little off guard. How many targets did Marvin Harrison Jr. have last year?
127.
It's 116.
Okay.
That was tied for 23rd in the NFL. I don't see any way it's more than that next year. Do you?
Mm-hmm. No, probably not.
I mean, maybe it gets up to, I'll give you a 10% bump and get you to 130 right behind Brian Thomas Jr.
Okay.
I don't think that's going to be at the expense of Trey McBride. Trey McBride's the 2 there. Trey McBride's still going to get his targets. Now I'll give you the other layer of that. How many targets did Trey McBride have last year?
150.
It's 147. 147 targets.
Mm-hmm.
Even if McBride goes down 15, and Harrison goes up 15. They're both in the top 25 in the league in targets.
Right. Now we'll take a break. When we come back, it will be to number 17 on the top 32 pass catchers for the 2025 NFL season here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville.
ESPN Asheville.
All right, we're clear.
Sorry, I went a little over there.
Tuesday.
It's all right.
Damp, right? Back to work, back to school today. The damp weather's sticking around. A few showers around, maybe even a thunderstorm. Cool. 63.
We had to get back on
Tonight,
numeric
50s,
pace.
A few showers, maybe some thunder, and some rumbles of thunder around tomorrow afternoon with the scattered showers. They're likely. Partly sunny in between, upper 70s. And a few showers, maybe an afternoon storm on Thursday, 75. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Staging.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for?
We have a super chat coming back.
Check Allstate first for a quote today.
Right.
You're in good hands.
I'll be right back.
This June 8th, run with purpose in the RAD Half Marathon and 10K, a race to rebuild the River Arts District after Hurricane Helene. Every step you take helps support local artists, small businesses, and nonprofits like Open Hearts Art Center and River Arts District Artists Foundation. You'll get an eco-friendly race shirt by Recovery Brands and celebrate at the finish line with a beer from Rad Highwire Brewing, right where the community is rising again. Sign up today at idaf.net. That's idaf.net and be part of the comeback. Run Rad. Rebuild Rad.
How do you spot the all-new Nissan Rogue Rock Creek? Here's a hint. It's got all-terrain tires, a tubular roof rack you can't miss, and it's tough inside and out with lava red detail. You'll also find it in its natural habitat, climbing mountains, attacking rugged trails, and never backing down from any adventure. The first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions. Always secure cargo. Heavy loading of the vehicle with cargo, especially on the roof, will affect the handling and stability of the vehicle.
Get rid of that musty, dusty smell in your home with help from the Zero Res Air Duct experts. Mention ESPN Asheville and get $50 off your next air duct cleaning. Just use promo code AIR50 when scheduling online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
May is National Stroke Awareness Month. Stroke is a leading cause of death, but many strokes are preventable. Knowing the warning signs, face drooping, arm weakness, or slurred speech. If you see any of those signs, call 911 immediately. Talk to your doctor about your risk and take steps now. Eat well, stay active, and monitor your blood pressure and cholesterol. Learn more and take our free stroke health risk assessment at myhaywoodregional.com. I'm Mark Starling, and this Medical Minute brought to you...
Still got a minute and a half.
10-4.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingalls Table at ingalls-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way.
We have
Whether
a
you're searching for your
NCAA
dream
football
home,
cover.
Looking to sell quickly or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes, like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Nominate your community hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
From the Ingalls Studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeart Radio app. Free never sounded so good. Live from the Ingalls Studio,
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
the Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things!
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We are the Sportsocracy, and we are heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. Jeremy Green, it is a
Power Rankings Tuesday.
We are counting down, or counting up, whatever, counting down the top 32 wide receivers for the 2025 NFL season, or excuse me, the top 25 pass catchers. We did have 3 tight ends that were already ranked in this little exercise. We've made it our way up to number 17, but first we have...
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
Breaking news, Jeremy Green. We have a cover for College Football 26. EA Sports just tickling the fancy of all of us who've been waiting for all of the release and the dates and everything. We have a date. July the 10th, apparently, is the date that we will have the game available.
Does that mean I still get the I'll get it July 7th because I get the 3-day early access?
Oh, I'm sure you will. I'm sure they'll still have early access and all of that. The full reveal apparently coming up this Thursday. The cover athletes, you have Ryan Hollywood Williams from Alabama and Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State.
You also have Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame. You have a handful of other players, but there were 2 little ones in there that they tickled my fancy just a bit. One, Mr. Tim Nathaniel Tebow III, and Reggie Bush.
Is this in the big collage?
Yep. Reggie Bush is on the left.
There's Reggie Bush up front.
Uh-huh. Yeah, does that catch you as odd? Because it should.
Love it.
You know what that makes me think?
What's that?
You're going to get legends in this game.
Oh,
because Reggie Bush and Tim Tebow would be 2 of the 3 most likely players that you would want to play with. They're both on the cover.
Absolutely.
As are the coaches, which thank God, instead of playing with Milt Finkelstein or whatever stupid name I had to figure out who all these coaches were.
Except for having a head coach of the Georgia Bulldogs that doesn't look anything like Kirby Smart.
Yes. By the way, can we make to where my creative coach, who's going to lead the West Virginia Mountaineers to 27 more national titles, can we make him look a little more like me? Maybe. I mean, I'm not asking for everything. Just
more customization. That's
look, if you're a big man like me, you only had 2 choices. You could either have a wafty-haired, good-looking man, or you had a bald-headed fat man. And that was the only 2 ways you could go. And I've done both. But I need to get the muley on the sideline immediately.
All I wanted was high school back. I wanted the high school
coming
games.
back.
And I hope it's in it. I've heard rumors that it's in it. And I've heard rumors that they could also have, like, real high schools. Like, you don't just pick the city and you get to name the school. Like, they will have schools in it, which would be really cool.
I'm not sure.
I mean,
it's
I know
gonna
Irwin.
get that.
I know Irwin's not going to be in it, but I mean, I still think it's pretty cool if they had, like, the big programs.
Eric Rayweather on YouTube. He is the official college football video game dude.
Okay.
He's had a lot of little leaks of the high school thing was coming back. We don't know much about it. You're going to learn about it on Thursday, and I am so excited. My wife is not excited. It's like, you're still playing the one from last year. Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I am, and I will. And guess what day that'll get laid down? July 6th.
Hell, I think at this point my wife would be is just interested in anything that might keep me from playing Red Dead Redemption 2. Because since I spent, a week and a half in the hospital, and I did nothing while I was in the hospital except for play that damn cowboy game, It's all I really do with my extra time now. So she's probably looking forward to me getting back into college football.
Yes.
All right, top 32 top 32 pass catchers for 2025.
Hey, you still got another 52 minutes to figure it out.
Yep, number 17, Jeremy.
T. Bartholomew Higgins.
Bartholomew.
I'm trying to get away from Nathaniel. Everybody's a Nathaniel. Got to
Okay.
get away from that.
Okay.
T. Higgins, to me, is the start of the true ones tier. Because I think T. Higgins is a true number one receiver. Fact or fiction?
I believe that's a fact.
Do you realize that he finished 30th in targets last year with Jamar Chase on his team and missed 5 full games?
That's crazy.
That's hard to do. He had 109 targets. The only 2 guys that were even in the ballpark of him that played as few games as he did were Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp and Nico Collins. I love T. Higgins. I don't know that he will ever get the love he deserves because he is a 2. I also look at Cincinnati this year and go, statistically, it may be. If they both play 17 games, I don't think you can set the bar high enough for what they can do.
Yeah. It is unfortunate for a guy like T. Higgins to be on the same team as Jamar Chase. Because I think you're right. I mean, he'll never get that credit.
I don't know that I agree with you on that.
What?
All right.
You think there's a point where we will just all realize that T. Higgins is one of the top 20 or top 15 wide receivers in this league, period, even though Jamar Chase is still hanging around?
I think we already do, though.
Okay.
Every list I've seen, T. Higgins has been in the top 20. I mean, and you really get, no matter what metric you're using to figure this out, he has to be that high. Randy L. also has a really solid point. With that defense, Cincinnati has to score 50 points a game.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be the greatest show on turf. I'm all locked in on Jamar Chase. I'm locked in on T. Higgins. I even like Andrea Iashivas to a point. I don't know exactly what the tight end position is going to look like.
Gesicki had a good year last year.
He kind of did. He had a good NFL year, not necessarily a good statistical year.
Okay.
He helped the offense. It's not – people hear you say that about tight ends. They go, oh, I should draft him as a late-round flyer. No, you shouldn't. He is no higher than 5th in the pecking order with the Cincinnati Bengals.
No, but he was still a solid role filler. He was there when they needed him.
Sure.
Right? When they give him the targets, he generally did something with them.
Kevin Vick in our YouTube chat, is Burrow making it through the season or is he running for his life? That's the part that I don't know. I don't know because I still look at the line and go, I don't feel any better about it now than I did a year ago. It's a couple different names, but I still feel the same way. Amarius Mims was good towards the end of last year. I think you added 2 guards in Jalen Rivers and Dylan Fairchild that can play. Seth McLaughlin, I think, is going to get a shot to make this roster. But I don't know that it's better, per se.
Yeah. You better hope it is.
If it's not, then we're going to have a lot of the same problems.
Absolutely. You're going to have the same problem over and over and over again. At what point do you learn you have to protect Joe Burrow? At what point do you learn that, Joe Burrow, he may just never be the guy who's going to get it out quickly. So you should pay more attention to that. Problem is you got 2 top 10 wide receivers on your team that you had to pay.
Yep.
And that's my only point with T of if he went to another team and ended up with if he ended up being the one for the Los Angeles Chargers, right? I think he could get that respect. He could probably end up being on that list of, Jamar Chase is 1, well, T. Higgins is 5.
See, but that's the problem.
But he'd never get there being on the same team.
See, that's the problem. That's not how this works. That it very rarely ever goes that way. T. Higgins would wind up being the number 1 receiver of the New England Patriots or the Pittsburgh Steelers or one of these teams that doesn't throw to that level. I think he would regress statistically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, T. Higgins is a guy that last year had, 900 yards in 12 games. He was 31st in the NFL, and he missed 5 full games.
Right.
I don't think that's going up.
Mm-hmm.
He's broken 1,000 yards twice. He's been right at 110 targets. He's been between 108 and 110 targets in 4 of his 5 years in the NFL, and it has not mattered how many games he played.
Okay. All right, let's go to number 16.
Drake London. I really, really like Drake London.
You really, really want him to be special.
I mean, I think he is special.
Okay.
Do you not?
I mean, he's good. I mean, I don't.
You're going to have
really
to
qualify
you're gonna
special.
have to. Okay, you're going to have to explain. You go ahead.
What?
Because nothing is in your favor of what you're about to say. Because you're about to diminish Drake London, and I can't wait to hear what you're diminishing him on.
No, I feel like he's a pretty good player. He's the only target for his team, though. And so is it? He's
the only target for his team. He has he has one of the leading running back receivers in the league. Darnell Mooney finished like 30th in targets last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that volume thing doesn't play. I mean, yeah, he got a lot of targets, but he was 5th.
Didn't he have a bunch?
158.
That's a bunch.
That's 20 behind Jamar Chase.
Mm-hmm.
That's 12 behind Malik Neighbors. It's 10 in front of Trey McBride. He only had 20 more than Jackson Smith-Njigba. I could keep doing this.
Mm-hmm.
He gets the volume that a number 1 receiver should, and he finished 4th in the league in receiving yards last year. He had 100 catches.
Mm-hmm.
Drake London is a dog. The only problem is that he's a dog, but not in the way that you necessarily want him to be. He's not physically impressive. He doesn't hit a lot of deep shots. I'll tell you a stat that'll blow your absolute mind.
Okay.
Drake London had 100 receptions last year.
Mm-hmm.
How many of them were over 40 yards?
3.
It was 0.
Okay.
His longest reception of the year is 39 yards. So he can't do what Jamar Chase does. He can't do what Justin Jefferson does or Brian Thomas Jr. or Amon-Ra St. Brown or Malik Neighbors. It puts him in this weird kind of nebulous. And I'll be honest with you, the 3 guys in front of him kind of fall into the exact same thing. I know we're up against a break, but I do want to do these next 3 before we take the break. Because I set that up that way for a reason.
Okay. Number 15.
Garrett Wilson.
14.
Devontae Smith.
Okay. 13.
Devontae Adams. Can you, with a clear conscience, put Drake London in front of any of the 3 guys I just said?
No.
Neither can I. And I was willfully trying to be hard on Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson finished 14th in the NFL last year in receiving yards, and his quarterback hated him.
Mm-hmm.
Devontae Smith, I get it. He's a 2. He's the best 2 in the NFL. He would be a 1 on practically any other team in the NFL. I feel about Devontae Smith the way you feel about T. Higgins because Philadelphia doesn't throw it to that level.
Mm-hmm.
So last year, A.J. Brown finishes 17th in passing yards, or in receiving yards, excuse me. And Devontae Smith was, I can't even find him. He was 37.
Okay.
It doesn't mean he's not good. See, and I'm glad you said the T. Higgins thing the way you did. T. Higgins still throws up stats that are out of this world. If you project him to a full 17-game schedule, which, yes, I do know, in 5 years he has never done, not one time, If you project him out to 17 games, he's in like the 1,300-yard range. Devontae Smith had one 1,200-yard year. Other than that, he's lived right around 1,000. He doesn't get the credit because statistically he lives in that 30 to 35 to 40 range. It doesn't change the fact how good he actually is.
Yep.
And I get it. He weighs $170. I get it that he's a route technician. He does all of these things that are not necessarily sexy. It doesn't change the fact he's a really good receiver. Davante Adams is just a technician playing receiver. He's dropping off. Of course he is. He's 6 to 8 years older than practically every other guy on this list. But he's still a guy that you do not want to mess with. And now he's on the opposite side of Puka Nacua. I have a feeling you're going to see more of 2022 Davante Adams than whatever last year with the Jets was. And there were still games with the Jets where he was outrageously good. Because Aaron trusted him.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't trust Garrett Wilson. You know what the funny thing about that is? Garrett Wilson still had more yards than he did. Garrett Wilson had one less touchdown than he did, and he had more with the Jets.
Mm-hmm. All right, you're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Top 12 pass catchers for the 2025 NFL season. Coming up after the break.
The city.
Las Vegas.
Clear.
Thank you.
The event.
Our legendary iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One.
Live.
Welcome.
One stage.
2 nights. The biggest stars in music return this September.
To make history.
The world's biggest artists are taking this stage.
Stream live only on Hulu.
I said, woo!
Listen right here as the star-studded lineup is revealed.
Tuesday morning, June 3rd.
At 8.
I lived on a commercial salmon fishing boat in Alaska, and I genuinely think that was the first time I've ever felt myself kind of like slipping mentally. I think Alaska does weird things to people.
If you're interested in hearing anonymous callers like this tell stories from their lives, check out my podcast, Therapy Gecko. You can listen to Therapy Gecko on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Therapy Gecko and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
I'm Coley Duffy.
I'm Cody Ward.
And
we're the Chainsaw Brothers.
Actually, we're cousins. A few days after Helene, we was in the driveway having a couple beers, waiting on the power to come back on. And we heard so many people calling, needing trees removed, and couldn't afford it.
So I called my dad to borrow a chainsaw, and over the next few months, we cleared trees for our neighbors. Our business was born out of wanting to help Western North Carolina get back on our feet.
We are fully insured and licensed. We keep our promises, meaning if we say we're going to be there, we'll be there. In these parts, we live how we were raised.
When you call the Chainsaw Brothers, you're not a customer, you're family. We're good at what we do, and we do it for a reasonable cost.
For all your chainsaw needs, call the Chainsaw Brothers. 828-316-1013. Or find us on Facebook. See how we treat our family.
Are you still covered up with storm damage and debris?
Call us about our daily rates at 828-316-1013. That's 828-316-1013. We're the Chainsaw Brothers, and with our neighbors, we are Western North Carolina strong.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes, like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Nominate your community hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah, and they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. this is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
We're back in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. I was just looking during the break at the college football 26 cover from EA Sports. Are we getting the tie-in back with ESPN with this game? You remember how they used to have like ESPN used to have a big role in the game. I feel like that we need that connection back. Like the ticker used to say ESPN on it. Used to have like the little ESPN scroll on the bottom. I just wonder if we're getting that back. And the fact that they have the game day set basically in the background of all of this, and Reese Davis is doing the voice.
Well, Reese Davis did the voice last year.
I think I don't know. Maybe they put that Washington State flag in there. Makes me think maybe we should have some like, Pat McAfee game day set reels and stuff during this game. I don't know. This feels like a good opportunity for them to merge the brands. Oh, we'll see. Top 32 pass catchers for the 2025 NFL season as OTAs kicked off today for teams across the league. We're up to number 12. And who is it?
Tyreek Hill.
Ho-hum, right? Just, he's still here doing stuff.
Do you find him to be all that impressive at this point?
No, it seems like the I don't know, the shine on that rose just kind of went away.
Well, I mean, what do you want from a guy that had 81 catches in 17 games, didn't even break 1,000 yards?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, your running mate was also an absolute atrocity. It feels that I'll be honest with you, where Miami's at now, this feels like the last year of the Wildcat. When everybody had figured it out, and now why are you still doing this? Oh, you've got 5 receivers that run 4.340s. Cool. You can't get them all the ball because your quarterback doesn't have enough time to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So you keep trying to line up and throw these deep shots, you're going to get Tua killed. And I just feel like the league's figured them out.
Yeah.
There was nothing about Miami's offense last year that was even vaguely impressive to me. I mean, if I'm wrong, feel free to tell me.
No.
And I get it. Tua only played 11 games. Tua wasn't impressive in 11 games.
Mm-hmm.
He was just kind of there.
And
the running game was just kind of there.
Yep. I feel like that whole offense was like that this past season.
Mm-hmm.
It was just stagnant. And you look at the roster right now and go, how is this going to get better? How are they going to improve Tua with what they have around him now? And basically just looking at the line. Because I don't trust it. And that obviously hurts Tyreek. I mean, I don't know that if you were giving me the choice right now, I would take Tyreek over any of the last 5 guys that we said. Going back to T. Higgins.
I would, because I still know he's got the high. I mean, look, if you told me he figured it out, I wouldn't be shocked.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to change anything with Tua. I don't think it's going to change anything with Jalen Waddle. I don't think it's going to change anything with the running game. I just think Miami is very blah.
Yeah. All right, let's go to number 11.
Scary Terry McLaurin. I think McLaurin's the opposite of that. He's really impressive. It's just not sexy at all.
Okay.
I feel like people are going to think I have McLaurin too high. Because I'm higher on him than practically every other list I saw.
Yeah.
I mean, me and PFF are right there together.
I believe having Debo is going to be huge for him. And I wouldn't have thought twice if you'd have had him, 5 spots back on this list last year. And now, with the added help, I think that can open up a lot for Terry.
He is a dog. I'll tell you a stat off the PFF list, too, that caught me, and I didn't actually know this going in. Do you know he leads the league in contested catches since 2020?
Really?
Mm-hmm. 89. Debo's going to help that. Debo's going to help that. If Ben Sinnott can be the tight end they drafted him to be, he's going to help that. I don't think losing De'Ami Brown hurts it in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and by the way, if Noah Brown can ever stay healthy, he can help that.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is he's hurt all the time.
Yeah. Let's go number 10.
My 10, this is where the upper elite start.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Thomas Jr. I tried to tell all of you. There's not a huge drop-off from MHJ, Malik Neighbors. Thomas Jr. is a dog.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if all these teams had it do all over again, the Chicago Bears would take Brian Thomas Jr. over Rome Odunze. And I still love Rome. He's not on this list, but I still love him.
I was going to say, year one was quite different for the two of them.
Well, also what they were asked to do was quite different. Rome Odunze had DJ Moore and Keenan Allen and Cole Kmet and DeAndre Swift. Brian Thomas Jr. had Evan Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
That was really all that was taking touches away from him. And he didn't do that much. Second leading receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars last year was who? I know we've already done this, and that's what's going to make me laugh is when you get it wrong again.
Brenton Strange.
It is Brenton Strange.
Yeah, I remembered.
It's Brenton Strange. Brian Thomas Jr. had 10 touchdown catches last year. The rest of the Jaguars combined had 9.
Mm-hmm.
He had 18 big plays. The rest of the team combined, rushing and receiving, only had 44.
Mm-hmm.
That is mind-boggling that one guy is that much of your offense. But he is.
And you couldn't stop it. That's the other thing.
And you knew it was coming and it didn't matter.
Right. You knew he was the only weapon that they could really threaten you with. And you still couldn't stop it.
The most amazing stat of Brian Thomas Jr. He had 91 or more yards in all 4 of their last 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
He also had 10 or more targets in every one of those games. Do you know how many times he had 91-plus yards and 10-plus targets in the first 14 weeks of the season?
Twice.
It never happened.
Really?
He did it 4 games in a row to end the year. He didn't do it once in the first 14 weeks. I mean, it was almost like Jacksonville didn't know what they had early on. He had that big game against Indy. He had another pseudo big game. I think it was against Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
And he had one against New England. And, yeah, those are good. Then he played the Jets, and it was, oh, you want to throw Sauce Gardner at him? Cool. We don't care. DJ Reed, don't care. Michael Carter, don't care. He's going to beat them all.
Mm-hmm.
And he did.
Yeah. Brian Thomas Jr. at number 10.
You can't take him high enough, too high in fantasy drafts for me in 2025.
Yeah.
I don't care if you tell me you're taking him at 12.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, let's hit number 9.
9 is Malik Neighbors. I think at this point, it's really, really close. Really, really close.
Between him and BTJ?
I do. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is close to them. He just didn't have that year of production to show off like those two did. Neighbors is still the one I would take above all the rest. And if you remember last year, we talked about that. The difference between Malik Neighbors and MHJ is not that much.
Yep.
People wanted to push him down for a litany of reasons. I've always said it was because of the name. But I think Malik Neighbors can be a top 5 receiver in this league in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
I think he needs Jackson Dart to do it. I don't think he can be that with Russell Wilson. Maybe he could with Jameis Winston. I'm not sure.
Yep. Top 5 in catches, top 10 in yards last year, 7 touchdowns. A hell of a start to the career for Malik Neighbors. And the New York Giants, regardless of how bad that team was, Malik was basically the only bright spot. I also did not realize Wan'Dale Robinson had 93 catches last year.
He had 93 catches for 414 yards.
It's the quietest
it wasn't
93
that bad.
catch season ever.
It wasn't that bad, but it was close.
Yeah, it was. Did not realize that. Anyhow, you're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Let's take a break. We'll get to the top 8 pass catchers for 2025 when we come back.
ESPN Asheville.
And you're clear.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Tuesday afternoon, going to be damp, right? Back to work, back to school today. The damp weather's sticking around. A few showers around, maybe even a thunderstorm. Cool. 63 should do it. Tonight, mid-50s, a few showers, maybe some thunder, and some rumbles of thunder around tomorrow afternoon with the scattered showers. They're likely. Partly sunny in between, upper 70s, and a few showers, maybe an afternoon storm on Thursday, 75. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Staging.
This report is sponsored by the North Carolina Department of Public Safety.
Securely storing your gun can prevent a tragedy in your home. Every day in the U.S., 8 children are unintentionally shot, many with an improperly stored gun. Lock it up when it's not in use. Keep your family safe. To learn more, visit ncsafe.org. That's ncsafe.org.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
We can be twinsies.
to
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now, there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International.
How long do I have, Tank?
Mark of Kellogg North America Co. LLC, used with permission.
1:45.
All right, I'm going to go refill my water.
Free iHeartRadio app for the start of summer 2025. No matter where you go this summer, your favorite radio station, the music you love, and the best podcasts in the world will be along for the adventure. Make sure you have the free iHeartRadio app in your phone today.
Did you know Ingalls only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingalls. Low prices. Love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks Community heroes. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the areas that were hardest hit in those first hours. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
The Sportsocracy.
We treat star athletes better because they're better people.
That's not fair!
Life isn't fair, kiddo. Get used to it.
We're back in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Hey, I want to remind everybody there's a couple more nights of live music coming to Bears Smokehouse Barbecue, downtown Asheville, 135 Cox Avenue, every Thursday and Saturday night. They have live music, and it's an awesome place to be, especially with the weather being as warm as it has been. Now, granted, today is not great. They didn't even reach 60 degrees today. Well, I guess it did hit 60, but not much better than that. But as the warmer weather creeps in here, you're going to want a cool place to hang out with an awesome atmosphere. They got the lights hung up at night. They got the fire pits all lit up. There's stuff to do. There's cornhole that you can play. I mean, they have transformed that front yard at Bears Smokehouse Barbecue. And like I said, great place to see some music on a Thursday or Saturday night. Live music of the WTF Thursdays, the Women to the Front concert series. McKinney is going to be playing there this Thursday night, 6:30 to 8:30, and Saturday, Old Sap. I'm not sure who Old Sap is, but it's not Warren Sap. It's like old sap from a tree. But hey, it could be a good show. I'm gonna have to check out some of that. Some of that. Let's see what that sounds like. But live music Thursdays and Saturdays at Bears Barbecue in downtown Asheville, 135 Cox Avenue. Check them out at bearsbbq.com. It is the official barbecue of the Sportsocracy. Rounding out the top 32 pass catchers for the 2025 NFL season. Jeremy, we're at number 8. And is there a big gap between 8 and Malik Neighbors at number 9?
No. My 8's Mike Evans.
Respect. I like it.
And I think Mike Evans is
consistency.
Mike Evans is almost kind of in I don't want to say it's a tier by himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's just, I know he's not going to go nanners. At least I feel pretty sure of that. You're the Bucs fan, so if I'm wrong there, you tell me.
What do you mean he's not going to go nanners?
Last year, he finished 23rd, I believe, in receiving yards.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's been above like 8th since 2018.
Mm-hmm.
But I think 22nd or 23rd, whatever he was the lowest he's been in 6 years.
Yes. I mean,
he's going to be between 1,000 and 1,200 yards. He's going to have between 9 and 11 touchdowns.
Yes.
And he's going to have somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 receptions because he's done it 6 years in a row. I don't see that changing. I just think it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
There is something to be said for the stability of my ceiling and my floor are this close to each other. I know exactly what I'm going to get out of him. It will probably be statistically worse than the 7 in front of him. It will probably be statistically worse than at least 3 of the 5 or 6 behind him. But I don't know which ones that is. So I slide him ahead of the young guys because I know he's so unbelievably safe. No sophomore walls, no any of that. But I can't put him in front of the top 7.
Second most consistent wide receiver in the history of the NFL. The guy started his career with 11 straight 1,000-yard seasons. He's not on the level of Jerry Rice. But he's at least in that discussion. He's tied Jerry for the most in a row. I don't think he'll get to the actual record. Jerry had 14 of those seasons, and I don't know that Mike can do it for another 3 years.
It wouldn't shock me. He's just now 32 years old.
It's a lot to ask of a 32-year-old wide receiver. Yeah,
he'll be 32 2 weeks before the season starts.
Yes.
I think he's fine. I mean, it's I don't see a quick drop off with him. I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yes, it's all pretty steady, and they're going to keep him in Tampa forever. That is non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. At number 7,
Nico Collins. Nico's real good at football.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you knew that or not.
I had heard.
He is really good at football. He missed 5 games last year and still had 1,000 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And with all the instability and the Stephon Diggs thing and the Tank Dell thing, none of it mattered. Now, he started a lot better than he finished. I don't know exactly why that was. His target share went through the floor. And I don't know why. He had 5 games with 10 or more targets. 3 of them were in the first 4 weeks. He only had 2 the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
That's bizarre to me. But it doesn't change how good I think he is. Now, for all of the love that I've given fantasy football-wise, I will go out on a limb and say I'm not going to have Nico Collins in one fantasy football league unless I play with 11 Indianapolis Colts fans. Because there is no path that I'm taking him as high as he's going. I mean, he's going in round 1.
Yeah, that's not happening.
That's too high for me. Because of what I just said. In terms of raw talent, great. Why did you have all these 54, 78, 17, 59, 38 games when you were the only game in town for a lot of it?
Mm-hmm. Right.
What that tells me is that you weren't getting open with the bracket coverage as often. Now, that's the negative side. Here's the positive side. They worked real hard to make sure you had a lot of weapons. 2 of them from the same school.
Mm-hmm.
I think Houston's going to have a real... I like C.J. Stroud probably better than any quarterback with where they're going fantasy football-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because they have a billion targets. Okay, let's say Tank Dell doesn't come back. Okay. I got Christian Kirk, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel, and John Mechie. Haven't mentioned Braxton Berrios yet. Haven't mentioned Justin Watson yet, who was the 3 in Kansas City for all these years.
Right.
Haven't mentioned Xavier Hutchinson yet. Also haven't mentioned your tight ends, and I think you have 14 of them. I just think I think Houston's going to be closer to what we saw 2 years ago than what we saw a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And Nico's the catalyst of that. I don't know that he has the super high upside where he's going to go 1,500 yards. And he's the last guy that I don't think has that upside. But I think his floor is pretty safe, too.
Okay. All right, so who's the first guy that does have that upside at 6?
Puka Nacua. I think he's going to get pushed down because people are going to really think that Devontae Adams is going to steal into his target share. Whatever it is that you think, Puka was clearly the one and has been the one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not going to change. It's not changing with Devontae Adams. I want you, without looking, how many targets do you think Puka Nacua had last year? In 11 games.
Oh, I'll say 106.
Did you cheat?
I did not.
Did you get better at guessing games while we were gone for Memorial Day?
Did I nail it on the head?
You hit it on the head. It was 106.
Yes. I did not have that open. That's funny.
I think his floor in a 17-game season is probably 140.
Okay.
I think and Devontae Adams, I think, is about 120. He had 160 his rookie year. I don't necessarily think we're doing that again, but I think he nestles in about 140. Devontae's about 120. They got a handful of other guys that are going to live in that 50, 60 territory. And it just hasn't really mattered what kind of coverage he gets. It hasn't really mattered on a per-game basis. It hasn't mattered who's out there. If he's on the field, he's producing. Now, he's had a couple games where he got hurt. He's had a couple of games where he wasn't 100%. But in large part, if he's on a field and he's 100%, you're looking at about a 8 to 9 catch, 90-plus yard, maybe he gets in the end zone receiving day. The only thing that really bothers me about Puka Nacua, he does not score nearly as much as you would think. He only has 9 touchdowns in his career. And that feels insanely low.
You would have thought a guy that gets that kind of attention had scored more.
I thought he had 12 his rookie year. I don't know how that got in my head, but that was the number I had in my head. And then you were talking about jumps. This is where the huge jump goes, because I'm going to do all 5 of these together. Okay. And this is not a time thing. I was actually planning on doing this from the jump.
Okay.
Count them down.
At number 5.
CeeDee Lamb.
At number 4.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
3.
A.J. Brown.
2.
Justin Jefferson.
1.
Jamar Chase. Frankly, I don't care what order you put those 5 in. I think one of the J's has to be 1. Yes. Either Jamar or Justin Jefferson has to be 1. I think the other has to be 2. Outside of that, I don't really care, because those 5 are so different than everybody else. Puka Nacua is my 6. I'm not sure Puka Nacua runs faster than about a 4.6, 5.40. I know what he ran timed. I'm talking about what I see on the field. These 5 are freakishly fast. They have amazing hands. They're constantly open. I don't really care. And it really falls into what is your flavor. Do you want the after-the-catch guy? Because that's CD. Do you want the more nuanced, runs out of the slot, just constantly open, always knows where to settle down? That's Amon-Ra. Then you get into AJ, Jamar, and Justin. They can beat you any way that you ask them to. I think Jefferson's probably the fastest of the bunch. Chase is probably the most physical of the bunch. And AJ Brown's the kind of blend. I don't think he does what the one in front of him does better than either one of them. But he can just do everything. I don't care. We worry so much about sliding guys up here. None of it matters. If you have one of these top 5 guys, you have a receiver in the NFL that no team can defend one-on-one. You can be the best corner in the NFL. I don't care who you think that is. We're going to do that later in the summer. But whoever the number 1 corner in the NFL is, you put them one-on-one with any of those 5, and they're at a disadvantage. Period. The question is, are they going to get massacred, or are they just going to get beaten? Because they put up numbers on everybody. Double coverage doesn't matter. Now, why did I have Jamar Chase in front of Justin Jefferson? Because one of you has Joe Burrow throwing to him, and one of you has J.J. McCarthy. That was the difference. How did I rank the back 3? Target share is a lot of it, because I think A.J. Brown's going to be a very high percentage of Philadelphia targets. He also has the best running back in the NFL, and that's going to keep safeties away from him more. Amon-Ra is just he's the steady Eddie. And then CeeDee Lamb, it does scare me a little bit with his target share with George Pickens, but it doesn't scare me much. I mean, even if his target share comes down 10%, he's still in the top 5 in the NFL. And a lot of that was with Cooper Rush.
Right. I think CD's going to have a huge year this year, but I can't go against Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown. You're right. I mean, they are all in a completely different tier.
They're not of this world.
No.
They're just not.
And what makes it cooler to me, what makes it better, is that 3 of those top 5 guys, they all have dudes that are on this list as their teammates. Yeah. You have Jamar with T, you have AJ with Devontae, and you got CD with George Pickens now.
All right, I wanted to do this way for a specific reason because we're in the last minute of the show. Mm-hmm. I want you to stake your flag. A 6th guy joins that top 5 this year. Passes the Pukas, the Nikos, the Mike Evans. Comfortably. Like you look at that guy and go, most elite of the elite. Mm-hmm. And you have to plant your flag on the guy. Who is it?
Brian Thomas Jr.
I agree with you.
It's Brian.
I was
Thomas.
really hoping you were going to say Malik Neighbors because I had board bet written all over that one.
Right.
I think
I can't say
too.
Malik. I can't say Malik Neighbors because remember it was me last year that said I don't know that I would take Malik Neighbors in a fantasy draft, and it took me a week and a half to figure that out. Oh sure. I don't doubt it. I totally remember. But Brian Thomas Jr. was something special last year.
Brian Thomas Jr. finished 3rd in the NFL in receiving yards on an offense that it actively looked like they were betting against themselves on a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm. And if Trevor Lawrence can ever take that step, if Liam Cohen is the guy to sort it out, Brian Thomas immediately joins that group.
Look, Liam Cohen's a goober. He just is. But look at the history of his outside big play receiver and realize that Brian Thomas still has room to grow because, yes, he did finish 3rd in the NFL in receiving yards. He was 20 targets or more behind every single receiver in the top 8 or in the top 9, excuse me, because it was tied 8. Mm-hmm. And he had less catches than all of them. Yep. He's still got room to grow.
Yep. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Back with you tomorrow here on 92.9, 880 and 1400. Of course, the YouTubes and the iHeartRadio app at noon when we'll have more off-season coverage from Flostradamus, Jeremy Green, and myself. Have a great one.
Asheville, your mountain weather forecast.
All right, we're clear.
Afternoon, going to be
I was afraid you were about to ask me what we were going to talk about tomorrow, and I don't remember.
Around, maybe even a thunder. Cool. 63 should do it. Tonight, mid-50s, a few showers, maybe some thunder, and some rumbles of thunder around tomorrow afternoon with the scattered showers. They're likely. Partly sunny in between, upper 70s, and a few showers, maybe an afternoon storm on Thursday, 75. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Staging.
This report is sponsored by WhatsApp.
On WhatsApp, your personal messages stay private. So things like those selfies from last weekend's party stay between you and your bestie. Because on WhatsApp, your personal messages are yours. No one else can see or hear them, not even us. WhatsApp, message privately with everyone.
How do you spot the all-new Nissan Rogue Rock Creek? Here's a hint. It's got all-terrain tires, a tubular roof rack you can't miss, and it's tough inside and out with lava red detail. You'll also find it in its natural habitat, climbing mountains, attacking rugged trails, and never backing down from any adventure. The first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions. Always secure cargo. Heavy loading of the vehicle with cargo, especially on the roof, will affect the handling and stability of the vehicle.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check for your wallet first, before hitting the drive-thru.
$6.
Sorry, forgot my wallet. I have change, though. Here's 40 cents, another 40. Ooh, a bicentennial.
What's that?
Oh, gosh.
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Dan Scott here, inviting you to check out my new show every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. here on ESPN Asheville, where we bring sports and faith together. The Dan Scott Show, 8 a.m. Sundays on ESPN Asheville.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
I'm Coley Duffy.
I'm Cody Ward.
And
we're the Chainsaw Brothers.
Actually, we're cousins. A few days after Helene, we was in the driveway having a couple beers, waiting on the power to come back on. And we heard so many people calling, needing trees removed, and couldn't afford it.
So I called my dad to borrow a chainsaw, and over the next few months, we cleared trees for our neighbors. Our business was born out of wanting to help Western North Carolina get back on our feet.
We are fully insured and licensed. We keep our promises, meaning if we say we're going to be there, we'll be there. In these parts, we live how we were raised.
When you call the Chainsaw Brothers, you're not a customer, you're family. We're good at what we do, and we do it for a reasonable cost.
For all your chainsaw needs, call the Chainsaw Brothers. 828-316-1013. Or find us on Facebook. See how we treat our family.
Are you still covered up with storm damage and debris?
Call us about our daily rates at 828-316-1013. That's 828-316-1013. We're the Chainsaw Brothers, and with our neighbors, we're Western North Carolina strong.
Woohoo! Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
ESPN Asheville, broadcasting from the Ingalls studio at Radio Ranch. Log on to ESPNAVL.com and make us your #1 preset on the iHeartRadio app. ESPN Asheville, #1 for sports coverage in the mountains.
Over 50,000 police officers are assaulted each year. Help police by not escalating. Address any complaints after the encounter. Comply now, complain later. Keep everybody
Portions of the
safe.
following
This
program will
message
be
brought to you
recorded
by the National.
From the Ingalls studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225 CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free, never sounded